Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. This is our coverage of the NECC Collegiate Valorant regular season. Each match we play gets us closer to those playoffs that we are desperately hoping to take a slot in. Joining me on the desk tonight is Jared Baratel Castiglione. I am Tim Voiceless Whitman, and we will be bringing you coverage of our next approximate matchup very, very soon. But before we do, we're going to talk a little bit about the state of the game because I want to know your thoughts on the Viper and Yoru buffs, Baratel.
Well, all things considered, I lost a very near and dear part of my heart, the Bucky. So that being said, I had to make some radical changes. Kind of like when you go through a bad breakup, you just completely re-image yourself. And now, as opposed to the Sky main I used to be, I am now a Yoru main. And boy, howdy is that character strong. You're able to do so much manipulation, really creep into the minds of your opponents and take advantage of them, scratching their heads as to what's going on. And that moment of capitalization feels no better than, that of a Bucky long shot.
What, do you still catch yourself trying to do the Bucky long shot?
No.
You don't right-click
with Yoru, I can get right up close and personal.
I guess that's fair. I still try and right-click with the Bucky, and it goes terribly these days.
I've just removed my right-click button from my mouse when it comes. I have a specific mouse for Valorant. It's got no right-click.
Well, also on those changes, we were able to see Viper get a massive buff. All of her poison actually just instantly knocks 50 health off of their opponent. Does decay back in, over time. But, running right through a Viper wall is much more dangerous than it used to be because you used to maybe take 2 damage from that. Now it's like 52.
Yeah, and even personal accounts, everything, she's just so much more of a threat and a real pigeon holder of an agent.
Absolutely. Just a reminder for everybody of our rules tonight. This is the Valorant NECC League. This is a 9-week series. We've got more than 30 teams competing in this matchup. We've got best of 3 sets, and those maps are chosen ahead of time each week. Then the home team is going to pick their opening side, attacker or defender, for the first and third games in the series, and the away team is going to pick their opening side for the second game in the series. The Broncos are our top-ranked, not top-ranked, but they are in the top-ranked bracket. They are in the champions bracket, but we also have challengers and emergence. And you shouldn't be sleeping on any of these brackets that we've got here because we have had a heck of a game against a lot of the teams that have played against us from those lower brackets. So anybody's game out here in the NECC Valorant divisions.
It's also so cool to see just these new schools kind of producing their own programs. There are some familiar names that we've been competing with for years, but to see a lot of these new schools coming out just continues to keep that echelon, that higher echelon of high skill play, and then of course those playoff slots really coveted when it comes to these high players.
Yeah, before we get into tonight's game, let's just take a quick reminder of ourselves about how things went last week against UVC. I was unfortunately out of town, so you want to give me the rundown on that, Baratel?
Oh, it was awesome. It generally is kind of the similar story to a lot of the ways that these varsity programs and these esports programs for Boise State work out. And that's simply they struggle at first. And I think it's an attempt to gauge how a team they have faced up against likes to use that disadvantage. And this is kind of what we saw. We see some of these situations where they had man advantage, especially here on this particular point. They kept trying to hammer home, and it was pretty difficult for them to do so.
It's down to a 2v2 though, and I think it's going to be Soja and Bandit with that op, and Boise State's got the spike planted in a good spot. There's one from Bandit and the second from the Phantom. Huge shots from Bandit to win that round. And can he find another one? It's Bandit.
Oh,
he can't.
So close.
Dreammaker does find a trade though with that customary LMG that we have to see him run at least once a map.
It's got to be the Ares. That's the valued second round buy. Unfortunately, you're going to walk into the waiting arms of course, that high capacity LMG, and you're not long for the. Please,
Dreammaker wants it, but it doesn't look like Bandit wants to give it to him.
Just give him his gun. This is actually his gun. Right?
Yeah.
And trade 1 for 1. The rest of the squad that's on that point will be decimated, and the retreat will be given to no one. They're going to have to fight their way in, and they can't. It's just going to be Dreammaker versus 2. And that all happened in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was crazy. Everyone was just going down left and right. Lycan actually did find one, but then the bot
with this, and they actually get this. That is a Bucky! Woo! Another Bucky! Woo! And they will be used to great effect on both sides. Spectre will be given a large opportunity. They want as much information as possible. Cage will go out, not be able to get anyone in the midst. And here comes that
Killjoy.
detainment after the plant. This is exactly what we criticized last time we saw this. They're going to go forward and try to get the eliminations before it can be done. Detainment will be used, but it's not going to be enough as all the members of UBC
Oh, he got
will
it off?
quickly actually get that. And that will actually get the defense. The same casualties that Bandit had given out to the UBC lineup. It's going to be another meeting of the minds, if you will. The baits, jiggles will be huge. Nice smokes, but not enough to be able to block out the precision of Soulja. And another shot from Lycan. You know, we got to give a lot of credit to, of course, Bandit, but every member.
Yeah.
But at that point, it would be balanced.
But I think at that point, I mean, it is in those first.
How?
earlies. Wait, what just?
How? Why'd you fork you again for competing?
It's actually insane how much we have things that we say about this team where we're like, oh, why didn't you do that? Why did you do it this way? And then it's
Well, that was a heck of a game. I'm a little bit disappointed that I missed it.
And again, I remember doing so well, but I think if there was a chapter highlight, it had to be off of Bandit. Bandit played out of their mind, and I wonder if that kind of trend was going to continue. But the main theme of how this becomes so successful, these 2-0s that we often see, is the Broncos really taking advantage of being put as a disadvantage, which is such a weird statement, but when they get themselves put behind, they really gauge how much the other team wants to stretch out. And at that point, once they get that feel for what a team likes to do when they're in an advantage spot, they kind of shut them down.
Yeah, that is a really emerging strength of the Broncos squad. I've been very impressed to see that. Let's take a look at the standings for Valorant NECC tonight. Here we are. UC Davis is currently at the top of that bracket with a beautiful 7-0 scoreline. Boise State Blue, though, not too far behind, 5-2. So anybody's game. We've got Florida Atlantic at 6-1 right in front of Boise State in that second place spot. So depending on how the next couple weeks go, we could see any one of 3 different teams really come out on top in the final moments of the regular season here.
When it comes to looking at this bracket as well, watching the series week by week, you can kind of understand why these teams are where they are right now. And especially with high competitors such as Florida Atlantic, UC Davis, the Boise State Blue team, you know, I think those are the only 2 losses they had were to the 2 teams above them.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. So that's going to be. I'm very excited to see how all 3 of those teams perform in the last couple of weeks of our regular season here, because this is kind of
Only 2
might as well
weeks
just
left,
flip a
really.
coin. What's that? So
2 weeks only.
I
It's
know, that's all
9-week
that's left.
series, Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is your Boise State team we will be fielding tonight. This is Bandito, Ethan Cobb. Dreammaker is Luke Edwards. Soulja is Jack Wilcox. Lycan is Blake Ramsey. And Your Hat is Seth Banta. As previously discussed, Your Hat must always wear a hat as his character, or I don't know what happens.
Quick question.
What?
What if he played Viper?
I don't know. If Your Hat played Viper, she has no hat.
She has a mask? Can you put that on your head?
No. It has to go on top of your head.
Well, unfortunately, I heard that Your Hat's Viper. It might be something we see in the future just because they kind of popped off last time we saw it.
I don't know about this breach in protocol. I haven't been trained for this.
It's not approved.
This isn't approved. If it happens, we can only apologize and hope things go well.
It's a glitch in the system.
Uh-huh. Let's take a look really quickly at Doc's keys to the game in Valorant. You better watch your corners because your time to kill is very low in this game. Be ready to trade when your teammates go down. That's the difference between victory and defeat. And don't be afraid to use your ultimates. These ultimates do recharge quicker than you think. You get the few of those ult pips, and you're right away from one round after another. You can get one real quick. So don't be afraid to use them in a situation where it might be advantageous. Doc's keys to the game are brought to you by Count. Count's Identity Global Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. Check them out at count.com. And yeah, we are getting set and ready here. We are going to be loading in
Yes.
Boise State against the unnamed California College.
Yep. It's the it's the feature matchup. Both of these superstars clashing here on the Valorant. And it's going to be interesting to see what map we pull out. I doubt the Icebox will ever be considered. That's probably one of the last check marks I can have on my bucket list for this series. But we'll see.
Honestly, though, if you are one of the schools who might be struggling just a little bit more in the lower standings, maybe you do go Icebox just because you think it's kind of a wild card map. Maybe you can catch the Broncos off guard and get yourself a win. Who knows, you know?
You know, great idea, great question. Problem is, they have a lot of practice on it for instances such as that.
That is very true. It doesn't matter anyway because our first map is going to be Bind. Takes place off the coast of Morocco, actually, which is the hometown of our favorite hat wearing Cypher, who is actually fielded by both teams right now. We got a Cypher on either side. Your hat is thankfully
Wearing
playing
some
a character
sort of
with a hat, so we're okay for now. We're also going to have legit Soldier and Bandit both playing on those duelists. We got a Jet and a Phoenix coming out here, and to round out the composition for Boise State, we have a Sova, which is the hero of choice for our very own Dreammaker.
And dreams are possible here. We see some frenzies coming out. It's a Ghost on the other side. Only difference into these two comps is the fact that there's a Raze versus a Jet here. And, you know, when it comes down to making, you know, good choices when it's these drafts, I have to give it to the Broncos just because last time we saw Bandito on this Jet, it was a complete almost slaughterhouse.
Yeah, it will be very interesting. Jet can kind of be a feast or famine a little bit on that hero, so it'll be very interesting to see if this turns out well for the Broncos or if they're able to shut that Jet down. Might put them in a spot of bother, but Dreammaker's going to take the early ult orb and get himself out of there. He will be revealed by that drone. They will know that there are two players at least playing that B-long angle there. Ooh, and the Shock Dart dissuades anybody from peeking that angle that Lycan was currently holding. The Paranoia comes in and forces everybody back. Wow,
nice
great
swing.
util usage. Broncos have taken full control of the B-long angle once again.
B-long angle. Looks like maybe Hookah might be the next attempted charge here from, of course, the unnamed California College, but what we will have to see as they continue to scramble. This might just end up being that whole 40 seconds and go kind of strat, the hurry up and wait strategy we see some of these professional teams and high ELO or MMR teams use. But they're sticking around this B site, and I think that the Broncos reservation, both in heaven towards that U-Haul as well, can give a little bit of an advantage here to unnamed California College in the event that they want to push, but a little bit later. Here comes, of course, that recon drone. A nice recon forward and a sprint towards the point, but it's going to be met with a spray of bullets. Two members are going to immediately fall down, but a trade or two will also be given over. Here comes the cavalry, though, and here comes the hot hands as well. Maybe going over the wall, but the spike has been planted. No wall bangs there except for the window, and the smoke has settled. Is there going to be enough shots here? Unfortunately not, as a third member from the Broncos will be met with a trade, and Bandit's going to continue to go forward. Still has the tailwind and the updraft. Going for the distracting shots into the wall, will not be able to get anything. Might have been just for that recon dart, and it's 1 versus 2. The health state of both these teams is favoring that of the Broncos, but information barely tags Bandit. He's in this corner. He's going to be low and low alone. Not able to get the shots he needs. The recon dart will be given away. He's going to pick up a different gun. Going to go forward. Here comes the tailwind and the updraft. He misses the first shot, misses the second one, has to reload. Going to go forward. Doesn't even have enough time to defuse. He might just get himself out of here, but he will be spotted in a very struggling round. It looked like it could have went either way until that final second, but unnamed California College will take the first blood.
Wow, I felt the panic there that Bandit was feeling, like a second-hand nervousness for the man. That was that was sweaty palms, mom spaghetti moment right there. I mean, he was very, very outnumbered and just kind of positioned in that fight. He was kind of stuck in the corner, didn't feel comfortable enough to push in, and after his teammate on the Phoenix goes down inside the CT, doorway there, he's really left with no other option than to try and brute force it because time's running out, and it is those pistols, so you don't really want to save anything. Dreammaker once again running out here and grabbing that early ult orb. So he's, like I said, already halfway to his ultimate. Those ults do come fast.
Yeah, normally you would just kind of, it's a Sova ult, no big deal. But on Dreammaker specifically, I almost think that Sova has some sort of Zeus blood in them because he is landing those thunder strikes left and right.
He does do it, though. Bandit is going to watch over this short angle from Showers. He'll catch somebody, but the Bulldog will outclass the Sheriff, and Bandit goes down early. Classic triple spray are not going to hit anything either, and the Judge takes down your hat. The 3 Broncos that are remaining are forced to retake in a 3 versus 5 scenario here because they are on the outside looking in, including a smoke planted right here at Pipes, and unbeknownst to Lycan, there is death waiting for him on the other side of these pipes in the form of that Raze watching that angle.
Yeah, not only one verdict will be given out if Lycan's the first one to peek this corner. Looks like he's going to be met from both angles, and he does get caught. Not able to get anything else. Broncos just are desperation, trying to get exit elimination, but a team ace will be going over to the unnamed California College.
And as disappointing as that is, you do want to remember that that is the second round after a pistol loss.
Right?
It's a little bit expected, you know. And equally as expected, we can also, you know, generally predict that there's a decent chance the Broncos will flip things around in this round because the players that bought, you know, the side of the unnamed California College they did buy last round, they don't have enough money to buy again this round, so they're kind of left over with some half buys. They got a Judge, they got a couple Spectres, not nearly as good as the full-blown rifles that most of the Broncos are carrying at this point. So maybe with that gun advantage, they can turn it around and make something happen in this round. The smoke is going to come out, is going to seal Bandit's sightline off from long, which means it's going to force him to drop down. It's a little more dangerous, and the ult comes in from the side of the unnamed California College. Your hat will get one, but the Judge has snuck through U-Haul and will pick up two. So the Broncos on the outside looking in once again as this A-side is locked down and waiting for the retake is the unnamed California College.
Yeah, great use of abilities. I mean, they did end up getting the information from the Hunter's Fury, and that means that they were able to push forward saying, hey, I know they're here trying to dodge my ult. You can push forward with your Judge that you still have, but the retake is still possible. The Broncos need to do it very delicately, and this is how things start, making it even 3v3. Unfortunately, not able to get the last one there. So it's now a 2 versus 3, trying to even things up. We'll be met with some opposition, and a heavy one at that, 4 HP. No, it's going to be just a little bit off the top of this remaining Cypher. They're going to hold this flank as much as possible. The angle's going to be perfect, but Lycan with the reticle, going to be able to lock it down and say, you go for the defuse, I got this.
That's a spicy meatball right there. I cannot believe he hit the flick and hit both of those. I mean, they were a little bit lined up. I'll give him credit where it's due. They were a little bit lined up on top of each other, but still, the wherewithal to turn and check that corner so quickly and hit both shots absolutely sealed the round there for the Broncos.
Don't talk to me about meatballs. I'm very hungry right now.
I'm sorry. I should have questioned first before I.
Are you hungry? Cool, because that was a
reference.
spicy meatball. And now things are kind of looking a little bit more proactive. We saw how consolidated and reserved the Bronco squad was, kind of holding these very far angles, not willing to use a lot of utility. And now we see, of course, you know, we have a lot of utility coming out from Dreammaker and Lycan as well, using those tripwires to great effect now that they have those in their arsenal.
Yeah, Dreammaker does have that ult now, and he has a pretty good idea that players are playing in B long because they know that the A failed last time and he got his recon bolt destroyed, so you can kind of surmise that the play is coming from B. He sends out his drone, he gets a tag. Now that's all but assured that the hit is coming from B, and you can see a couple of the players.
Sprinting members down to B long, and it looks like they're going to go for a complete congealed effort towards this site. It might be something that they split up to go to hookah, but meeting yourself in the hallway is going to be a dangerous call. Here goes the one shot. Not going to be able to tag anything. The second one will miss as well. Third one will get one tag, so that's a bit of health off the top of, I do believe, the other Sova. So that's going to be a nice one to take out because that agent just offers too much information. The Alladron coming out from unnamed California College will give that information, and a nice wall bang will take out your hat on the backside, sending a lot of the members retreating. They are able to get the run it back down, but it's only to be met with shots down the same corner. And now the Broncos are scrambling to try and find a way for them to get out of this dangerous hallway. On the backside, there is someone in, of course, this hookah spot. And if they push this just like this could be huge. 3 members in the blink of an eye will go down. And the Broncos now finally found their angle. They'll push on to the point. And it's a question as whether or not unnamed California College can stand. And they do not. 3 members of the Broncos versus 2 members. And that will give Boise a round back in their favor.
Oh, wow. You felt the tempo shift. You could see that the Cypher cage comes down, and you can tell that push is supposed to be denied from the side of unnamed California College.
No one was watching.
There's nobody looking in that direction because they assumed that with the Viper cage down, or excuse me, the Cypher cage down, that they were protected from that side. The Broncos don't care. They push in anyway, and that tempo just changed real quick.
Thing of beauty, it was almost like a pendulum, right? Everything was going against them until the moment that it hit the precipice, and that momentum just shoved itself right back, and with quite force.
Absolutely. That was a momentous victory coming in there, especially after the spike goes down. You can just feel a little bit of panic and desperation with only about 12 seconds left on the clock for unnamed California College. But that notwithstanding, they're going to choose to hit B once again. And wow, the blast pack going to send him in, and the showstopper going to claim Dreammaker early on. So they have the site control, and the Broncos are on the outside looking in once again. That may not necessarily be the worst thing in the world for them. They have shown in the last round that B is not their worst site, and so Legit Soldier goes in, using the run it back, going to get info, but not much else.
A lot of damage on the enemy Raze, though, and that could be something that can turn the tides. Although he did take a lot of damage, he's going to end up having to hold himself in this little Healy hole. The corner will be accessed, but much to their chagrin, there was Bandit waiting with deadly accuracy. Going to pick up the other gun, going to go for the nice shoulder jiggle, and actually gets the headshot on the backside. 2 versus 3. Got some knives to pull out here, but I don't think it's the right call with the health disadvantage that Boise has. I think they're going to continue to look for exits. Cannot get them, because it does look like Esperanto will hold that angle to such supremacy, and now they will answer back around to their own.
Yeah, it was a little bit interesting there. The Broncos made a call with not much time left in the round that they wanted to contest the spike. I can't blame them.
Right.
That round is pretty important. They send both curveballs in, one right after the other, which leaves you pretty naked as far as utility. So they know, through the side of unnamed California College, that as soon as both those curveballs come out, it's pretty safe to just hold that angle and dare the Broncos to peek it. And so they do just that, and they're able to pick up the round.
Here comes the knives, going to go for that nice thrifty if at all possible, but there's no one here. They anticipated maybe another push to the same side. It's always reasonable for them to consider going the other way to try and keep Boise State on their toes. Unfortunately for them, those knives will exist for the rest of the round. Here comes an owl drone from Showers. Going to try and keep themselves kind of concealed as much as possible. The least or the less information that this unnamed California College has, the better the Broncos can control the pace of the game.
Absolutely, and they are on an eco, it's important to remember. So the Broncos at a bit of a disadvantage in this gunfight. The longer that they can keep the players from unnamed California College out of the site using their utility, the more favor they have, because, you know, long extended fights are going to favor these rifles. So quick spur of the moment attacks with, you know, clutching some headshots with those pistols is the way the Broncos are going to need to win this round, and that is not how you want to start it, by losing Legit Soldier and getting your entire team revealed by the neural theft as the hit comes into B and comes in fast. 2 players in hookah will see the Jet playing behind the tuna can, and she will be taken down with a bullet to the head, and Dreammaker's been steal off with the hot hands as well. He knows they're all in there but can't do anything about it, so now, whoa! Yurhat and Lycan answer back with 2 of their own right quick. I think one of those might have even been through the wall, I'm not sure. Yurhat going to TP. And he will get information that nobody is playing right on the left side of that tuna can, and Dreammaker, as soon as this Cypher cage goes down, they will hit. Oh, no!
Ooh.
Wow, great hold there from Esperanto. I definitely thought that with a 2-player swing and somebody coming on the other side from that elbow area, that the players from California College just wouldn't know which direction to look, and the Broncos would have that retake. But that was very well held from
one minor adjustment that was made was just making sure to watch someone coming from CT spawn. I mean, that was the first mistake they made last time that B site was contested such heavily, and that small adjustment gave them not only a round win, but, you know, 3 members staying alive through that as well is also a mental boon as well, in addition.
I'm honestly not sure how I feel about that decision to TP if you're Yurhat in that circumstance, because if he stays where he is, they definitely know he's coming from teleporter, but you can at least abuse that fact and have forced them to look at one other angle.
Wow.
Right? Beautiful shot.
It looked like it was through
Bandit.
the wall, but it should have been. Here comes, of course, does look like the curveball. Here comes the smoke as well. Not be able to get anything. They're going to walk maybe blindly into the welcoming arms of Bandit, but no such luck as 3 members are kind of conceding whether or not they want to push forward. A nice drop down from the top of Tuna Can will get 1, but it's a 2 versus 4, and with the guns that they have, might not be something they can do. Bandit looking for an angle. Here comes the curveball. Going to blind no one because they're not looking that way.
Spikes on the ground.
But they know Spike's on the ground. They just need to get the last member, and they do so. Broncos swarming around this point, finally, kind of attacking from all angles, and easily so with the last or first member going down so easily to that off play.
So I know we're only 7 rounds in, but an early pattern that I think I can identify here is that I feel like Boise State tends to be a lot better on the retake when they retake from multiple different angles. When they load up one angle and try to double swing, I just think the gunplay and the crosshair placement is too good for the unnamed California College team, and it just doesn't seem to work out for them. But when they retake, like in that round, from multiple angles at the same time, it seems to go much better from them.
Uh-oh.
Bandit
gotta be
holding this
scary.
very long angle with that op.
Bandit's looking for an opportunity to
Oh,
peek
he's
in
daring
there.
someone to peek this. Oh, and he misses!
Does not get the
The
shot
whiff.
there, but maybe pushing the second angle could be huge. Here comes the boom bot, but they're just waiting for the, and he actually challenges Bandit. When are people gonna learn you can't do this? The double will go over, and he's gonna look for a swing to the backside of T-Spawn. You guys, anyone listening that has not yet learned this, has not played against the Bronco blue team, do not challenge Bandit to a peak battle.
Oh,
You're gonna have a hard time.
Season gets the wall bang.
Your Hot's getting the wall bang. They're popping off left and right. They're feeling themselves. And here comes, of course, that recon drone. Going to get the information. And at least one's up there. There's going to be shots here. Shock dart will be given. Not going to be able to find anything. Peeks again. Unfortunately, Dreammaker can't get the 1v2 success when it comes to the peak battle. But buying information, buying time, going to give Boise State a more informed decision to make moving forward. And they're going to get one. They're going to look for the second one. And that is a 5-for-1. Only one casualty is going to be the Dreammaker, so they're that close to making a flawless happen so early in the map.
And you can see both the importance of information here in Valorant and the advantage that the Broncos have when they choose to retake a site from multiple angles, because you could see the red silhouettes there from the side of the unnamed California College frantically spinning their heads, looking for the angle where the Broncos were going to retake from. Without the information to know, they're at a severe disadvantage, as opposed to, you know, sometimes the Broncos will give away that they are going to retake from a certain angle, and they try and just win it out by forcing it with multiple people swinging the same angle at the same time. But unnamed California College just seems ready for that, and retaking from multiple angles just seems to be working much better for them.
It's almost
force
as
their
if
opponents to panic.
everyone on the Bronco squad is actually Omen, and they all have a sense of paranoia-inducing ability. A lot of retail value coming out of these utility abilities. And we're just going to be kind of scattering of movement here as the rest of everyone kind of consolidates onto this B point. It's going to be a trade for 1-for-1. Ult economy is going to be even as well, 2-2. But that being said, it looks like both these Hunter Furies could be used here if there's a chokehold or a congealment of the team members. They're just going to keep holding these long points. Another elimination as well through the rotation. Not going to be able to get something going on just yet. And it does look like unnamed California College is struggling to find themselves an angle. Able to find maybe an opportunity here. Now, of course, that Lycan is down.
They're actually going to choose to rotate away back to the A site. Most of the players from unnamed California College are cheating that direction. Only Legit Soldiers still here holding on.
Oh,
B.
it's the counter cheat.
Oh, it is.
It's the fake cheat.
left.
It's
It
the,
is.
It's the
They're
we're
gonna
going to
head
go
back
someone
up
else and
through
we're actually going to
hookah.
stay here. But again, the reservation from the Broncos side could be huge. I mean, they only have one solitary defense. No, actually, they only have one solitary defense on B, and once that call is given, there's only going to be a few more seconds left to do something about it. They are storming this B point. They're going to go for the plant. They have to. They only have so many seconds left. They get the plant down, but here comes the welcoming dragon wings of the operator. And might as well switch Bandit over to that of a dragon, because they are just breathing fire all over this map right now.
I don't think they know that Legit Soldier's playing back in that elbow.
They do
He was able
not.
to keep safe during the entire retake, so they have an opportunity here to retake in an angle that they're not expecting from. Bandit even gets out the location of that Sova. He's just daring him, waiting for him to peek any angle whatsoever, and Bandit will use
It's
it.
just Bandit.
Switching the gun, trying to bait out the shot, doing it twice, and he's just buying time. He'll go.
You cannot
Wow.
keep doing this.
Bandit will get the kill,
Oh, okay.
and will get his life out away using the tailwind, get himself out of trouble, may even get an exit. He
Oh.
will get an exit onto
You're kidding
Esperanto,
me.
but they will drop the round, unfortunately. But Bandit making that very expensive for the unnamed California College.
mean-
Only their Cypher gets away with his gun and his life.
It is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek kind of move, saying, "Hey, you can't do anything. We're winning this round no matter what. I'll push you, so I'm pushing you out from this." But not necessary. When it comes down to this, you essentially give Bandit a ultimate that, even with the deadly accuracy of the operator, having 6 at your disposal, why would you fork over a free ultimate like that?
Yeah,
That could be something that bites them in the rear.
it might be, honestly. Yeah, I think the smarter play in that decision, if you're the Sova on the side of unnamed California College, is to, you know, if you don't feel like you can peek that without getting yourself killed, and it's, to be honest, you probably can't, then just die to the spike. Because honestly, giving extra ult points over to Bandit is not helping your case whatsoever. But they do walk away with the win in that round, so Broncos only down by 1 round as we go up to our next one here. We've got a player playing in U-Haul and one playing the long garage angle as Lycan goes down to a headshot from C16. The only one remaining here on A is Your Hat, but he'll get a double kill. 2 headshots, picks them both up. And then we'll pick up a third on the edge
great
of the
googly
smoke.
mooglies.
He'll go down, but not before he took down 3, and now the Broncos have a man advantage and are just waiting for the moment to strike. They're going to push into this site as soon as the smoke expires and probably try and take down the player who is planting before he gets a chance to play. Oh! He catches him with his bow out, and Bandit gets a classic kill. There's only one remaining. It's Smurfsicles. He's blinded and forced to turn, and he goes down. Broncos get the defuse, and they tie us up 5-5.
And a great showing at that. You know, you kind of can be critical of the fact that Lycan got taken out so early, but had the tripwire, had a lot of that utility there to scout things out and say, hey, you know, when it comes down to it, if you want to push this angle, we're well informed to take advantage of you doing so. And we saw it. We saw Your Hat there to pick up the remnants of what was made by that information, and then the rest of that just kind of developed from there.
Yeah, I mean, you get a little bit of information if you're Lycan in that circumstance. You can see that there are at least 2 playing the showers. It gives you a decent amount of confidence if you're Your Hat that you can swing on the other side of that Phoenix wall, and you probably aren't swinging into all 5 enemy team, or all 5 members of the enemy team. So that gives you a little bit more confidence, allows him to have the courage to make that swing, and it comes up big for the Broncos.
I also like how they're holding these kind of unorthodox angles. I mean, some of them, of course, are pretty common, but whenever things happen, they're kind of malleable around what's going on, especially the pressure points of the point that they're holding. Here comes a shock dart out, and maybe get some chip damage out if possible. Smoke will be used to cover themselves in the cover. Oh. Nice shot through the cloud, though, and that's exactly what they're looking for. That's going to be start something beautiful. The running back will actually take out one, and a second one at that. Not needing to even use the reload from the operator. They got the pistol in hand, and quickly, in the blink of an eye, 4 members, maybe 5 here will go down, yes. And that will be Boise State's first flawless in the map.
That was surgical.
Can we get some Stabobos in the chat for that?
Oh my goodness, that was the cleanest take I have ever seen by the Broncos. I'm willing to put my hand on my heart and call it right now.
And you hit the nail right on the head. When it comes to Boise State recontesting these points, because they're able to do so at just these 5 or 4-pronged attack points, you know, this unnamed California college does not know what to do with it.
Yeah, they really tend to struggle when they don't have the information knowing what direction the enemy is coming from. And, you know, you can say, well, duh, of course they do. But in that situation, what you kind of want to do as a team is tend to have everybody hold their own angles, and you use those comms to keep yourselves locked down.
Oh, they know.
Yeah, they definitely know, especially with the drone coming out. They'll get revealed. Lycan is going to be forced to retreat here. He may not even get out with his life. He'll get tagged up by a shock dart, but the spray coming in from his teammate will keep him safe, and they will actually regain control of showers. I can't believe it. That was such good teamwork from the Broncos. They don't even know whether Lycan is still in this corner. They choose to rotate away, but if he had remained there and they chose to push up, that could have been disastrous for them because that teamwork was so impeccable. And it forces the unnamed California College off of A side entirely. They go to B. They try and push down Hookah, and Bandit doing Bandit things. Going to pick up a kill with that op. He'll whiff the second, but the knives come out and he gets 2 headshots. Make it 3. No. He'll get taken down, but there's only 2 players remaining for the unnamed California College, and their days are numbered. They're revealed, their positions are known to the Broncos, and it's just a matter of time now. You do not want to be this Phoenix Various right now, or excuse me, this Silva right now for the unnamed California College. He's panicking.
Is he able to do this the 1v1? He actually able to get things while the utility was being used. But great call, and again, the Broncos forcing a retreat out of this unnamed California College is paramount to their success. They forced the entire team. They brought the whole raid party to that of the Dragon's Den of Bandit, and with the raid boss stats, they were able to take out 1-2 and force the remainder of that raid group to falter to the rest of the damage from the Boise State squad.
Man, you carried that raid metaphor really far. I'm impressed.
I know. It's it's a curse. It's a curse.
Well, we're switching sides now. The Broncos are going to be on the attack, which means they're responsible for getting that spike into the site and planting it, and the unnamed California College are the ones attempting to keep that from happening. We reset our eco as well, so the Broncos back to pistols. We'll see if they manage to come out a little bit better in this half than they did in the first. Remember, they lost the first 2 rounds of the first half, the pistol and the subsequent round. Maybe if they get that going here, they're able to take a quick 9-5, and maybe this game looks a lot better than being tied 7-7. So Broncos very carefully, not making too much noise, using that frenzy gun. They're going to peek this long B lane. They're going to see if they can get any control over the site of B. And at the time being, that is not a bad choice at all, because most of the players from the side of California, unnamed California College, are not actually watching this angle. And the hot hands through the roof. Did that go through the roof? I think
had to have, yeah.
Oh, and the flick! That flick to get the headshot. Soldier is filthy. That is just disgusting. If there are any kids, just don't let them watch this. This is not appropriate.
These people have families, okay?
Yeah. Only 3 players remaining for the unnamed California College. Various is going to go down as well, leaving just 2.
But on
and
the
the bait and switch has come in. Plant comes down onto A, and wow, UCC is guessing hard now.
Yeah, it's difficult too, because you know, when it comes to defense, you can only dictate the pace of the game. You can halt it, you can stop the momentum. You don't get to be as aggressive as maybe you'd like. You get put on the attacker side, and that's all you. Nice challenge here, but it's going to be met with another spray, showing you truly who the Cypher is. I see exactly where you are, Lycan says, and that's going to be a first-round win for them on the attack side, and a pretty good indicator that they're more comfortable on this than the other way.
Absolutely. Hoping they can pick up this submachine gun win here and get the second round win, putting them at 9-5. You could see the peek even came through there for the Cypher on the side of UCC, but he only peeked it kind of. It's like when you have to do your homework, you do it because you should, but you don't really pay that close attention to what you're doing.
Do you see those?
Yeah.
Do you see them?
I see them.
Wow. And we thought it was gone. Well, lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great day to celebrate. There are 3 Buckies. It's on the wrong team.
It's not a bad gun. It's just more balanced now.
Balanced, air quotes.
Broncos mostly holding rifles as well, a couple submachine guns. They're going to seal off the U-Haul lane with that Cypher cage and keep that. Uh-oh.
That is the most elusive boombot I've ever seen.
I was scared a little bit. I thought that was going to find Lycan over there in the corner. He's going to seal off the cage once again as soon as he sees somebody peek. Spike goes down, and now UC, no, not UC Davis, sorry. Unnamed California College are going to have to retake. There's a couple of them playing that U-Haul, and one playing back in pipes. And Braced will get a pistol kill onto Dreammaker, so they actually have the man advantage. They're going to have to push in before it gets too low on time here. Your Hat, woo, the blast pack coming out. Your Hat gets 2, Bandit gets 1, and now there's only 1 remaining in this corner. He'll go down, and the Broncos 9-5, just like we predicted.
And that's it's a pretty tricky way to kind of go about things, but you know, I thought that for a moment with the firepower for this close range or close quarters combat, you know, the unnamed California College had an advantage, but you know, missed utility using that boombot to only go up into the air was pretty much giving yourself a free giveaway in terms of eliminations, and the Broncos were more than happy to cash in that coupon, and they're going to continue, like you said, it's going to be a 9-5, and things are looking a little bit more pretty for the Broncos than they were just a couple rounds ago.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough position for the unnamed California College. Most of them were sealed back in pipes and U-Haul, and it's really hard to get out of those hallways when they're locked down. So it's just difficult. They're not in a great position. And oh my goodness, the mind game's coming into full effect. 2 go down into B long. The rest of them start rushing over there, but Lycan finds a lurk kill in the A long site, and now the spike goes down at B. The site is sealed off with the smoke, and Bandit is daring UCC to push through the smoke into the waiting arms of his Spectre. Yep, it's 4 versus 1. There's just a Omen remaining for the side of unnamed California College, and he'll go down to the Spectre of Lycan. That's his 2nd lurk kill on the round. He's turning into quite the lurk monster there.
I've figured it out. They actually are all playing Omen. They're able to induce paranoia.
These are just Omen
skins. They continue to scream scatter in the way of their actions. You know, actions do speak louder than words, and they're forcing unnamed California College to do both the things, scatter and be afraid.
Yeah, these are just Omen skins that have, you know, they're all playing the same character.
Yeah.
It's 10-5. The Broncos are at double digits now, so not too many more rounds left in this one before California College has to start panicking.
You're at a desk of very interesting and paranormal powers, so be careful what you say with certainty.
That is true. Caster Curse is a very real thing. Just want to make it known that there is a bit of mental gaming that goes along here, and being only a few rounds away from defeat can, you know, take its toll on you, can tend to make you make some unwise decisions, make things worse. Broncos get 3 kills right out of the gate. The Cypher Cage comes down. Bandit, oh, careful when you have your knife out there. No restraint whatsoever, walks out of the smoke with his knife out and still manages to get away with his life. That's some jet privilege right there.
Yeah, Recon darted to action. We get the first tick, and we met the challenge, and that's the second flawless for Boise State. And again, complete control of these entry points. Going through with the challenge, they're willing to sacrifice their team members. We see often not a solo peak, but these 2-man attack points where if one falls, the other one's there to catch the slack.
I love it. It's such a clean way to play, and it makes sure that, you know, one of Doc's keys to the game is those, you know, being willing to trade your teammates, being ready to trade your teammates, and multiple angles watching the same point makes it so much easier for you to trade your teammates because you don't have to re-swing on an opponent that's already won a gunfight.
Just a pause coming out here, I believe, and gives us a moment to talk about this. Yes, we also see that one of the other keys of the game from Doc was to use your ultimates, but I think at this point when you're so close to victory, if you get stopped on one of these rounds, conserving these ultimates to give yourself a further advantage later on in another round is a good choice.
Yeah, I agree. When you only have 2 rounds left away from your win, you don't need to throw ults away unnecessarily. Bank them up. If you need to, you can throw all 5 of them at a round just to finish off the game and get the last points you need to finish things off. So I like the play to save them, use them sparingly here. And on the side of Unnamed California College, this is really, you know, their last great shot at this. They're, I think, on an eco. I can see mostly pistols and a Bucky.
They're on they're on eco.
Yeah, they're on an eco this round. So they might, yeah, they're going to force buy a couple SMGs because if they lose this round, that's it. You're, you know, at best, you're going into overtime.
I think the pause is because someone saw that there's a Bucky skin on sale, so they had to go buy that.
Go buy that, get back in the game, skins get wins.
The Mage Punk one, too. Pretty cool.
And it'll be very interesting to see whether the Broncos continue to take a really fast pace coming out of this TAC pause, or if they're going to slow things down a little bit because maybe, you know, maybe Unnamed California College is discussing strats in there. They've discovered a weakness. They've discovered you know, some new strat that they feel like may be able to make the difference. And
that is a question, and it's almost synonymous to that of icing the kicker, right? Something that very comedically and rarely happens in professional football, where you just try to make the most uncomfortable environment ever. And when the Broncos are on such a streak like this, maybe halting that momentum the best way you can is by preventing the round from even starting. Could be enough to cool them off from their hot streak.
It's very possible. There are quite a couple players running this hookah and B control for the side of Unnamed California College. So, ooh, and there comes the Hunter's Fury. They're not going to catch any, yeah, no pings there. And because of that, they come out with 2 quick kills on the side of Unnamed California College because the players playing in hookah were not revealed. Soldiers run it back. We'll get 1, so we're in a 3 versus 5, but I think the Broncos making the quick call. They are going to run it to A. Taking TP, they're going to dash over there where, smart decision, there's only 1 player playing for the side of Unnamed California College. And likewise, there is our ever-lurking Bronco player. Oh, that is a painful headshot in the back. Paranoia comes out, misses Your Hat, but Your Hat will still get taken down by the Sheriff headshot. Braced, saving the round there a little bit for his team, holding that site all by himself, and it's just Dreammaker, who was on alert, didn't run through the teleporter, was hoping to maybe find some rotation kills in that transition, didn't find it. Now I think you just
30
save.
seconds left.
Yeah,
I don't think you want to give this away to an eco for
No.
UCC.
And that's the thing. Unfortunately, it kind of looked like it stopped the Broncos in their tracks, at least in terms of momentum. Not only was this a round that the control looked to be completely shifted over to Unnamed California College, but, you know,
10 seconds left.
It's tough. You know, when it comes down to it, you saw that things were going so well consistently for them. They might be able to turn this around. I mean, he does have 89 HP. 1 versus 3 is an opportunity for him. Thrifty will go by as there's not enough time to get things going, but looking for maybe some exits. Pretty safe in their positioning. And again, it's closing the gap, but is that going to be enough to start something beautiful for Unnamed California College?
I think if you're Dreammaker in that circumstance, you're not really trying to get the round win. You get 1 exit kill, you have 6 seconds left. You throw out that recon dart, maybe you can pick up one more, but I don't think it ever crosses your mind that you really want to try and retake that, because I just don't think you really, but realistically believe you have time for that in a circumstance like that.
You gotta believe.
You gotta believe, man. Parappa the Rapper. Throwback.
Oof.
If you're old enough to understand
That's
that
a kick,
reference.
Punch. A kick, punch.
Yeah. I feel too old now.
Just dated ourselves, actually.
We did so hard.
People like, Parappa the Rapper. People, Guitar Hero existed well before Guitar Hero ever existed.
Oh, the grenade
Nice,
comes in through the teleporter. Beautiful play.
Actually doesn't end up in much. A one-for-one trade. The tripwire will be in front of them.
Trade comes out into B long, and the tripwire will go down, which will prevent your hat from getting in there undetected. After the headshot comes in onto Lycan, now the Broncos are a man down. And once again, on the outside looking in at this B site, I think maybe that tack pause gave Unnamed California College the strat they needed to hold this B site down. Broncos, since the pause, have not really set one foot on the site.
And yeah, it's with much struggle that they're even getting to how far they are. It's almost like they are no longer confident, but could be an opportunity. Looks like they're challenging from several different places, just like they have had success doing before. But do they have enough time to do so, or is the remaining members of this Unnamed California College team going to surround them? Not necessary, as they are going to walk into, of course, this one player with a fantastic shot spread. Might consider teleporting. It looks like they're going to go forward with it. They do have the bomb. Going to go ahead and do a nice almost 360 off the box there. But here comes everything. It could be an opportunity for a counter Omen ult. Go and plant it out in the open, but Heaven needs to be watched desperately. Actually get it through the wall. Have to watch the rest of these angles. Heaven could be a second opportunity for them. They cannot see these silhouettes. Ladies and gentlemen, only we can. So this informs decision for them to peek that angle. It looks like they know exactly where this person is, but they do not. And it's going to be a 1 versus 3. Make it a 2 versus 1. Actually make it, unfortunately, a 2 versus 0. As the Broncos will succumb to their own kind of strategy of surrounding from all sides. And this Unnamed California College is starting to pick things up.
Your hat, I love you. I will always love you. Why on earth did you pull out your knife right there, man? He saw the flash coming through. He knew the swing was coming. What does pulling your knife out get you in that situation?
It's to look cool.
Maybe that's what it was. Well, Unnamed California College starting to run it back just a little bit. Like we said, that tack pause can be a momentum shift, and that might have been exactly what they needed. They've strung together a couple rounds. The Broncos are realistically looking at maybe another broken bye before they have to head into an eco. They might have an eco the next round if this doesn't go well for them.
Oh, goodness gracious. They're
And
going to
that's
bounce
not how
off
you
each
want to
other.
start it.
What a great read from, it does look like C16, and quick 2 members going to put a lot of bad taste in their mouth, maybe going for that play again. But, oh, goodness, 4 going over quickly. Before they actually do something here forward, they have to be able to consider what's the path of least resistance. It doesn't look like A's that path right now.
And now you feel really stuck if you're the Broncos, because you tried B. A few rounds now. It hasn't worked out for you. You tried A. It immediately backfires in your face. So now you just feel like you're staring at 2 brick walls, and you're wondering how you're supposed to find entrance onto one of them. Forget this round. They're thinking about how they're going to find entrance onto a site left in the half, because this is not a great position you want to be in. The rounds still favor Boise State, but the momentum is all in the corner of Unnamed California College right now. They are cowering in market and outside the teleporter, trying to pick up some picks to get themselves back into a bit more of an even game, because they're being pushed on from all sides. There's somebody about to swing. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Race swings from market and gets Bandit, and there's just Dreammaker waiting in the teleporter. He doesn't even have the spike. He has to leave, or maybe he's just going to save and try and dare somebody to come through the teleporter. And
Yeah, try and be behind the person that teleports behind him. But
Yeah.
maybe teleporting in front of him won't end up
Exactly.
working.
Maybe that's his play at this point, because you're 1v4. I don't think you want to try and go for this.
At this point, they have to be privy to the fact that he's nearby, right?
Yeah. And now they know where he is. Oh,
'Cause
beautiful.
Yeah, the recon dart through the teleporter is such a great way to do things. With my new level of air quotes expertise with Yoru, I've tricked a few enemies into thinking I was going through teleporter with my footsteps.
Yeah, that was some galaxy brain stuff right there. You use the recon bolt just to give your players positioning so they can spray through the wall. That was hot.
And I think when it comes down to it, I mean, Lycan's been sitting on this neural theft for a couple rounds now, so that they want to be part of the action, but that's kind of probably What's preventing it? Unfortunately, when it comes down to the agents, Lycan doesn't have a lot of forward opportunity.
Well, we have another attack pause coming in here. It's going to be just a little bit. Don't know which side called that, but maybe what things are needed for these Broncos to kind of regain control of the game, because since that last one, it has been rough going, man.
And it's just maybe a question, something they weren't able to discuss during those kind of round to round moments. But when it comes down to it, with things in the way they proceed forward, it's a tactical game. Using as much conversation time as possible is a strategy.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that is not something to end up working. You're going to peek the one with the operator. You're going to be able to get a little bit of chip damage out on them, but not able to get anything beyond that. And with that information that an operator is going to be B-long, they're going to maybe consider going towards A, and I think that's the right call.
Yeah, it is a great call. They said in the drone, cover a lot of the angles and get reveal onto one of those players. So they have a lot of information gained about the A site now, especially the fact that the op is not set up there at the moment. If they push in fast, they will remain that way. But they've got to get in, and they've got to get in before the op gets into position in heaven, because once that happens, this is going to be just as hard to peek as that B-long angle would have been. And now you're in trouble, because C14 is in heaven with that op, and this is going to be tough. They do have smokes, do the Broncos. No, they don't. Their smokes just went down to Smurfsicles with a wallbang headshot, and now the Broncos are in trouble. There's just Bandit remaining on the spike, cowering in his own smoke. He'll get taken down, and Unnamed California College have a flawless, and it brought us back to a 2-round deficit. It's getting spooky.
Yeah, it's definitely getting spooky. This is an interesting thing when it comes down to where they are in the patch. When you split the spike, you actually can't split the ult points anymore. Whoever gets the final defuse gets the point. No longer splits in half.
Yeah, so what do you do if you're the Broncos in this situation? There have been tack pauses, right? You've tried a couple different sites, you've tried a couple different looks, even a couple different tempos. What needs to change here if you're the Broncos?
Well, I think they just need to get Lycan as part of these first initial trades. Go for the two versus one, maybe on one corner peak, and get that neural theft. They're struggling to gain information that they know how to use so efficiently, and this could be the start of something beautiful. It doesn't look like he got an assist, but the challenge, the tireless pursuit will go forward. That tailwind's going to be huge. It makes it a 4 versus 3. No sages here on this map, and then the information with that recon dart can be huge. Push forward, blinds are going to be everywhere. It's the first time we've seen a Blaze in a long time. But shots there on this L, and this could be an opportunity for them. It's going to be 4 versus 1. The Broncos, as to what they need to do, whatever they just did, and they got to keep doing it.
The answer was tempo and aggression. They came out hard, got an early kill onto the op user, get a second. Oh no,
wow.
Lycan. That's very disappointing for him. He almost had the perfect backstab and just thwarted by his own impatience peeking out of the smoke there. Yeah, they come out hard. They hit Hookah real hard, taking the fearless tailwind in to get a trade kill if you're Bandit, and that was the answer. The site's cracked open, and now Smurfsicles is on the outside looking in. He's only got 33 health, and he's got a perfect crossfire. He can't look in both directions. Yeah.
Nope.
That was a tough one for him. I didn't think that was ever going to go his way. Your hat with the wallbang headshot kill, gets what he needs, and now we're on match point. And like I was talking about, you see, I almost did it again. Unnamed California College almost got what they needed, but they're back on match point now. And now, best case scenario, you head into overtime. Starting to look a little bit sketchy here for them once again.
When we look at things in consideration, if you were to even hit tab at this moment, you can see the top fraggers for both teams. Both have an ultimate in their arsenal, and we've seen how devastating C16 can be with this rocket launcher. In addition to, we've seen how devastating the Bandit can be with the knives. So it's going to be a question on who wins the fight, the rocket launcher or the knives.
They're going to send the drone through showers. Not going to find really anything in the way of information. You don't get a tag. Oh, actually, he does get revealed on the other side of that teleport. I thought he would wait until after he was tagged to TP.
Does give himself the run it back, and that's why they push that side.
That must be what their plan was. They're going to use the run it back to head into A.
They said there's an operator here. We need to leave, and they do so. But with reverence when it comes down to it. They're not sprinting away. It's more of a calculated retreat, if you will.
I thought for sure that Soldier was going to use that run it back to clear out the showers to A hit, and they would end up pushing through really hard. But they're taking it very slowly. They saw the op on B site. I would have thought that meant they wanted to hit A. But whoa. the patience from the Broncos is actually tricking a couple players from UCC to rotating from B to A. And now the op is the only thing holding down Hookah, and the Broncos have made it all the way up B long. So I don't know, honestly, what you do in this position if you're the Broncos. Do you commit to the sites you already kind of have control of, or do you switch out to the one that might be a little bit less guarded?
Well, it doesn't matter, op or rocket launcher. C16 is going to be an accurate source of damage for unnamed California College. Broncos have this run it back available. Going to maybe see if they needed to challenge Hookah. Not quite yet, but this open door will give them have some hesitation to push forward. They don't have enough time. It's going to go away, and they actually are halted by the smoke itself and the information, trying to conserve their guns, but in a defensive position looking for exits, but will actually falter. The Broncos, we give them praise for being proactive and being aggressive on that forward frontal momentum. But again, when they are kind of struggling to make a decision, a clear path that they want to pursue, it kind of results in disaster for them.
It does. They just kind of fizzled out. They even had an opportunity. They could have even used the run it back and gone through the smoke anyway, but they choose to just kind of sit behind the smoke and let the round slip through their fingers. And, you know, I think whether consciously or not, UCC have kind of hit on one of the Broncos' weaknesses, which is that they like to control the tempo of the round. And when they lose control of the tempo, they can struggle to regain it again. And so when the Broncos come out hard and are rebuffed, like you saw in that round, they're not really sure what to do.
Run it back will be used, going to be chopped by the tripwire. They know where he is, he needs to get this trade kill, but he doesn't, it will be wasted. But information can be huge here, and that's exactly what they're looking for if they can't get an elimination momentarily.
You're having full control of Hookah.
Paranoia could be an opportunity. Hunter's Fury, and Dreammaker needs to make dreams happen here with this, and he actually gets one out. This could be huge for them. This is a huge momentum swing. It's 2 versus 4. Make it a 1 versus 4, and the Broncos are going to push forward. It's C16 versus the world. They do not have the ultimate this time, just the lone operator. And I don't know what they're looking for up there. Maybe the recon dart. You can't shoot that out of the air, though. And these long challenges are going to be all that's going to be available. Recon dart will not get them. They're right around the corner. So a little bit of paranoia-inducing activity. They thought they could spot C16 on rotation, and technically they could have, if they were not privy to that being an opportunity.
Yeah, but the op is not the gun you want in this situation.
No.
It's terrifying to push against, but it is not what you want to push into a site.
Look at how reserved and how high the game knowledge is for these Bronco players. They know every angle they can hold this objective down without exposing themselves to anything.
Exactly, and now C16 has to be the one to swing, which is the last thing the opper wants to do.
Oh, and he had the knife out for the movement speed, unfortunately. And that's going to be first map to Boise State.
Wow, it came down to the wire a little bit there. UCC making it a lot closer than I think the Broncos would have liked, but the Broncos do come away with the opening round win in our first round, best of 3 here. Wow, that was quite the game. We started to sweat a little bit, but we came away with the W. So now we want to revise you about Esports Tower. You can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your Valorant game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you climb those ranks and reach that Radiant rank if you're a Valorant stan and you're just desperate to get to the top. That's what's going to make it happen for you. Check out esportstower.com. Whew. I need a break.
Nah. Let's go right into the next one.
No? No bathroom break? No? Everybody's good?
I need some water.
I think we need to take a break.
I've lost some hydration through my sweat pores, if you will. I don't know science, so. But yeah, that was a nail biter, and truth be told, you know, not a lot of kind of advantages going unused. Both these teams are really predatory in the sense that the moment they found a weakness, they kind of just pounced on it.
Absolutely. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays out as we head into our second map. Will things swing one way or the other? Was that performance from either side dependent on bind? Are things going to change if we go somewhere else?
Icebox.
Let's going to find out right after this, because that's going to do it for map 1. We're going to take a short break and come back at you with map number 2. We'll see if anything changes. Don't go anywhere. See you guys. Welcome back, everybody, to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. This is our coverage of the NECC Collegiate Valorant regular season. Every match we play takes us closer and closer to those playoffs, and at this point, we're actually quite close. It's only 2 weeks away. This is anybody's game here, folks. There is a very thin margin separating the top 3 teams in those standings, so who knows how these last couple weeks are going to go. Very exciting to see how this all plays out, especially if all the games are going to be like this last one was. Whew, that was close.
I hope not. I don't know if my heart can take it, you know, being up and down like a roller coaster of such a high octane degree. I don't know if I could handle that.
So before we get into the second game here, I want to ask you what you think both teams need to take away from that match. Because I think they each had control in different stages, and it slipped away from both of them for different reasons. So what does each team need to do to stay on top?
It's such a weird question, right? Because it's not something that's kind of inherently described within the game. It's not gunplay. It's not draft. Both of those things went really well for both teams. It's momentum, honestly. It's using information, gathering it as much as you can, and controlling the game, dictating the pace of it. And again, it's such a hard thing to not only learn, but to master, let alone trying to do it with 4 other people that you can't control at one time.
Yeah, exactly. And the entire other team, you know. Sometimes the strat that you run, 9 times out of 10, it works in scrims, it works on every team, but it doesn't work on this team, then what do, you know?
Yeah, and it's not like that you can change in the match, right? You can't just change up your style. You can't change up your draft, if you will. So if you're using a Viper, you got to stick with that Viper the whole game. And if a team's privy to playing against a Viper, you got to figure something out.
Absolutely. Well, reminder of everybody, for our rules here in the Valorant NECC League, this is a 9-week series. We're in week 7. We have more than 30 teams competing in sets. Those sets are best of 3. And those maps are chosen ahead of time each week. The home team is going to pick their opening side, either attacker or defender, for the first and third maps of a series, if we have a third map. And the away team is going to pick their opening side for the second game. Obviously, in a best of 3, if somebody wins 2-0, then we're done. We don't play a third map. So
we're hoping for that tonight.
We're hoping for a 2-0, or you're hoping for all 3 games?
I'm hoping for a 2-0.
Okay, well, hopefully that runs out the way we hope here for our Boise State Broncos. There they are in our champions bracket. We've also got challengers and emergence, a little bit smaller schools, a little bit newer programs, but not to be taken lightly. A couple of the teams that are lower in those ranks have played against the Broncos and taken it to them in a big way.
And it's also about kind of publicity. There's always a weird factor in, you know, being public, being, you know, exposed in the sense that you're always streaming your content. You know, for competitive reasons, you want to bring the good show to the folks. But with that, you know, the more you are public, the more you can be kind of visualized and scrutinized. We're arguably the most scouted team because we make a lot of this accessible, you know, when it comes down to it. But what can be learned across the boards, no matter what division, is all up to the teams and how much effort they want to put into it.
Well, Boise State Valorant matchup versus the unnamed California college team. Beautiful no image available there. I absolutely love it. And, I mean, really, it's an interesting perspective because when you're on the side of the Broncos, you want to put out a great show. You want to entertain your fans. But it almost puts you at a bit of a disadvantage. There's more tape to watch when you provide more tape to your opponents.
Yeah, you got to pay for it, but it is a sub.
Yeah.
So $5.
So that may come back to bite them, may work out well for them. We'll have to see how it goes as the season progresses. This is your Boise State team here. Bandito is Ethan Cobb. Dreammaker, Luke Edwards. Soldier is Jack Wilcox. Lycan, Blake Ramsey. And your hat is Seth Banta.
So weird. They are all Omen, but none of them look like Omen. Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, not one hood. None of them has robotic arms.
Why is your hat not actually wearing a hat in the picture?
I'm still upset about that. Somebody needs to get that corrected ASAP in production.
Yeah. Well, hats off to, of course, unnamed California College for giving us a pretty close map 1, and we'll have to see what side they want to pick towards the second map and ultimately what map it is. You know, when it comes to historically, there aren't a few maps that the Broncos aren't prepared for, but there is one in mind that they sometimes have a bit of struggle with trying to get a good grasp on.
Which map would that be?
I can't say it.
Oh, okay.
We'll see right here whether or not it's going to be something that they have to learn to adapt to, or nope, they're good.
Split is an old favorite of the Broncos. They do play very well here. We'll see if that trend can continue, or maybe they've played so much of it that UCC has their number. They've got them figured out.
Dog, don't you hover her without picking her. You gotta pick it.
Oh, I'd love to see a Sky.
Okay.
Oh,
All dreams don't come true, I guess.
heartbroken. We
You
are
should
seeing
change your
Bandit
name to
play his
Heartbreaker.
signature Reyna, though. That's always a treat to watch Bandit play his Reyna on this map. That does seem to be a favorite pick of his, and it usually works out very well for him.
What's an odd criticism from the unnamed California colleges, I don't understand. This is like almost the quintessential Sage map, right? The walls offer so much of a boon of momentum deterrent, almost like deodorant to that. And when it comes to it, the way that the Broncos use it can completely negate a point from being accessible or a route being accessible. I don't know about you, but being shepherded into a Bronco team is not something I would like to see happen to me.
Yeah, I definitely understand why you would want the Sage in forcing them to play into you in the correct scenarios. But I think the thought process for UCC in this circumstance is that they have, because usually you play the Sage to get that mid control, right? You throw up the wall, you gain early mid control, the wall eventually falls, but by then you have players where you need them. I think the thought process is that they can use all three flashes, the fault line, and the aftershock from Breach in order to maintain that mid control and give their team time to rotate where they need to go.
Yeah, I mean, if there is someone that does well into walls, it's someone that only can use their abilities into walls. So,
Absolutely.
quick movement here on A site. Going to be an explosion of action as falls and eliminations go across the board. Broncos were able to dictate that, yes, maybe they're going to go for a full side split on one end. Looks like that was exactly the play, and they were luckily able to find that out and get the reinforcements there as needed. Bandit going to get one here. Going to sit here on the full health as well with that full heal. Going to get shot down, 13 HP remaining, but the Ghost is going to give them a huge boon of extra accuracy. Pushing solo from heaven could be the play. They might be trying to pull some attention from the rest of the members from unnamed California College, but doesn't look like the rest of them are going to be in position. C16 will take out Bandit finally, but it looks like Soldier will be here and able to answer for their own. Health totals look to be equal, and here comes the plant. Doesn't look like Lycan's comfortable pushing into the smoke, and rightfully so. Was able to get some shots here, but unable to secure it. Another headshot going to C16, but unfortunately didn't get much damage, it looks like, on that raise. Soldier's going to have to do a tremendous amount of work here with their own frenzy, but not really the best gun when it comes to these mid-range engages, and does look like unnamed California College will pick up first blood yet again.
I really like the attempt at the wide swing there. I almost felt like it was going to work, but then the players kind of reset, the angles kind of reset, and you have to swing again, and it just doesn't go for you as well the second time. But it almost working out very well there. I can see a scenario in which that kill translates to a Broncos kill. You got a 2v1, and you may even be able to prevent the spike from going down. There's your Bucky, buddy.
Yeehaw!
There, and he's going to be playing those close angles that you have there in rows, hoping somebody is foolish enough to push into him.
Here comes the Boombot as well. Going to hold reserve for their own and completely dodge it out. Does actually go off, and 12 HP will be met with a one frayed bullet. Going to swing through the smoke and catch him by the nose. Going to walk into a classic. Does not look like the blind was going to be enough, but ended up timing out just perfectly for them. And they're going to be a full send team to the B site. Broncos are trying to get themselves back in position, but with so many points of easy defense being kind of crumbled, it only looks like 1 versus 5 will be the remainder here. They're actually able to get one. Going to get themselves on the point, drop the orb for their own protection, pop themselves out of it, but into the welcoming arms of the remaining members of unnamed California College, and it will pick up a swift 2-0.
Yeah, that was just the gun diff and the aggression coming into full play there. Unnamed California College knows they have the gun advantage, and so they full send, and it works. Especially after they catch the early lucky break on taking down Dreammaker in the room outside vents right there, because he hoped and planned on dodging that by standing inside the smoke. But when it catches him, they just start sending bullets in there.
You might
One
as
gets
well.
lucky,
It's
takes
got to
him
be
down.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, exactly. So one gets lucky, takes him down, and then you're like, well, frick, we got a man advantage. We got the better guns. Just send it.
Paranoia coming out. Here comes the Lear, but to no one's avail. Maybe get someone here towards the ramp side of things. Here comes another one at that. They're going to go for shots maybe on their own member. A little spook me kind of situation, and 2 members will be remaining in the blink of an eye. The Broncos will take out 2 of their own, but a tall order at that, the 2 versus 3. They do have gun and firepower equating that of the unnamed California College. But with the position that they have, it looks like it's going to be a pretty tough one for them to push forward too.
Yeah, the Killjoy is also available still, so all of those Killjoy utility you see on the ground there will go off. Lycan will get one, but then the swarm grenade goes off, and now he's all alone in screens and very, very scared. Fault line comes in. They may not want to push through his Cypher cage that he threw down there. He'll throw down a second to try and dissuade anybody from pushing into him. Still actually attempting to make something of this round, but gets taken down by the Vandal, and that's going to be that quick 3-round wins for unnamed California College there. And wow, now the Broncos are back kind of on an eco. They spent almost everything they had on that last one.
Yeah, it's going to be tough pushing forward as well. It does look like the containment coming close to being online. I mean, it's such a powerful ult when it comes to the size of this map, right? When it comes to how much area that one ultimate can cover, as long as you get the spike down beforehand and tuck that away in a covered corner, it's going to be pretty hard for the Broncos to push onto that in general at all.
Yeah, and it looks like their answer to this, having another eco, is a little bit of aggression, sneakily pushing up through the smoke, hoping maybe you can catch somebody like that. Bandit getting what he needs with the Judge at the short range there. Now, Spike on the ground. Lycan gets a headshot kill with the Sheriff, and now the Broncos have a man advantage, and get one more. They have upgraded their guns. They've picked up what they needed from some guns on the ground. Wow, barely gets away with the Spike and his life there. Lycan's going to be... didn't reload. Didn't have the full clip in their disposal. But with the Spike being down, it's a great opportunity for them to continue to swarm and kind of push them out. They got gun upgrades now, though.
Got some gun upgrades as well. I mean, sticking with the Judge could be a good call, but I think using the Judge to get a better gun in suit is a great call. And they're kind of reading or trying to read where unnamed California College is going to go, but just like the Broncos have done in the past, they did the fake swap, and they're going to go back right to B.
Yeah, and Broncos have mostly fallen for it. They've cheated pretty far towards A. Legit Soldier's the only one even attempting to hold down B site. Only looking at these stairs, but they'll hear some footsteps. They'll hear the spike plant, know they've been tricked. So it won't result in too much of a time difference here for unnamed California College, but they do get a free entry.
This is dangerous, but they're pushing as 3. 2 will go out almost immediately, but the final will win out. And it looks like Dreammaker Makes Dreams Happen is going to go for their grenade. It's a little bit of a firework, yeah. Finally able to find themselves a win so far on the map, but a pretty close one at that. I didn't expect Jet to get the 2 for 1.
No, especially after the Broncos lose 2 so quickly on the drop down there. Dreammaker coming in clutch, kind of gets 2, gets 1, and then picks up the second kill with what he needs there. So
now,
coming in clutch.
Both teams even on ultimates. This can be the kind of determining factor on how to use them, because we've seen teams kind of fall prey to holding them for maybe the big flashy play. Unfortunately, this isn't Overwatch. The play of the game is not available to you normally. So kind of holding these ultimates could be your downfall. We'll have to see whether or not the Broncos want to fall prey to that as well. But based off of historical data, doesn't show that they like to hold on to those too long.
It's also very important to note that you can use your ultimates in a swing round like this to get you the round win and translate that into an eco lead later, you know? Sometimes you use the ults to get more ults later on.
I like this as well. With them being on defense, normally, I mean, with these 3 wins under the belt of unnamed California College, they were the ones being proactive. They're forcing their way into these points. But 1 round loss is forcing them to look how preserved they are. The caution level has spiked as if the Broncos were the one with the 3-1 lead, but that's not the case.
It's all about momentum sometimes here in Valorant. It's a round-based game, so sometimes it can feel like it's a round-based
Game.
Right?
It is
But
what it is.
It's not that simple. It's not quite a round-based game because so much of your mental state and the eco that you have, the guns that you have, all carry over between rounds. So it's not as simple as it seems.
I think they heard that tailwind. They know someone's up here, and it gets the one-way, but it's going to be preferential for legit Soldier. He'll pick up one on the backside. The Broncos will defend and take one of their own. A fair trade in the eyes of a 2 versus 1 defense. That's exactly what they're looking for. And now 4 members are consolidating here. They know they're probably around here somewhere. Smoke's going to come out, pushing forward into blind. But another 1-for-1 trade, and the Broncos continue to eke out a one-man advantage. They almost go for the res. I think it's now time to do so. And the defenders win off the backside. Bandit says, while you're going for the ultimate and they're looking over here, I'm just going to go ahead and get the remaining members. Broncos now swiftly getting themselves in the driver's seat, and they've attempted to put that harness on that 5-point click.
The wherewithal just to keep spraying one occasional bullet through that smoke eventually pays off there for legit Soldier, and then you're in real trouble if you're that final omen for UCC trying to plant the spike there, because you have no idea if someone's pushing through that smoke to get you. You have no idea if someone's swinging from above you to get you. You're kind of dead to rights there. So great play to make sure that round doesn't slip through the Broncos' fingers, and there's only one round in it now in between the two. Broncos dropping that wall like they do pretty much every round, and they will get a little bit of info based on util usage and the splashes that there is somebody playing at the B site. Your hat going to pick up one before he drops himself, and ouch. Lycan going to get taken down as well. So the remaining Broncos going to be forced to retake, but they will use the Empress, and that can make all the difference in the world. That 1v5 very possible once the Empress is online.
And he's got the Phantom too, so that was like almost fully intended to use that here. Phantom is like kind of the ideal gun for Empresses because the rate of fire becomes ridiculous. Look how fast that TTK goes by.
And he negates the showstopper, so no rocket launcher going to come out there. The attacker Killjoy not going to detain everybody. So it's a 2v3. The Broncos do have the Lear and have the Empress online. They're going to use the showstopper their own.
Oh my goodness!
He gets 2 with the showstopper. Bandit swings and gets the 3rd, and the defuse is going to come in for the Broncos.
That was a work of art, and we saw it in a moment's notice. If you were watching that perspective the whole time, you knew what was going to happen, but you just didn't expect it to go so well. Dreammaker really showing up, and off the piggybacking of the fact that just the Bandit by themselves were containing so much of the pressure with the Lear, with the Empress still being going on. They were not privy at all to this, and this get the instant 2, and on the back end says, we'll suffer here as well. A great play from the Broncos, using your ultimates to such an nth degree, and this is why you have to use these abilities. They are round determining.
Absolutely, and look at that. The Broncos didn't have those ultimates online, but they used a couple ultimates in that round. They've got a couple more online. Maybe they'll use those to win another round, and then they'll have the Empress back online. Sometimes you can just cycle those ults to keep getting yourself round wins. You don't necessarily have to spend them all at once. Ooh, and you definitely don't want to if you get caught in that aftershock, but Dreammaker using the the blast packs to get himself to safety. Very great play there. Even trades out a little bit of damage with a couple players from UCC without falling himself. Great play from Dreammaker.
Dreammaker scattering to find Soldier right now with only 30 HP. Help me, dude. Heal me, please. Nice wall up here on the top side after, of course, going through a mid, and that could be a determining factor on whether or not ease of access is offered, but no. Soldier will have to trade 1-for-1 as he was on the wall the entire side. It's going to be 4 versus 4, and everything's scattered. Here comes the ultimate from Breach. Going to get a huge amount of disorientation across the board, and now they're going to go forward a nice A push, but there's going to be a nice spray of bullets from the side of Bandit. He's holding his angles, and he knows exactly where to be. The turret's going to be found out, but it's going to be enough. He is going to be vulnerable because of the Nanostorm, but it doesn't matter. Lycan is too accurate, and 1 member will remain. He's actually able to pick up 1, and Various is going to do what they can to try and go for the 1 versus 2, but unfortunately couldn't find the angle of pursuit and will be taken out from Dreammaker. Broncos now getting themselves a little bit more comfortable in this driver's seat. They may crank up the AC here in a bit to cool himself off.
Yeah, that was spicy. I mean, very well done for Various there to win the duel, but once he gets out of heaven, he has no idea where to look. And he's facing 2 players at once, so you can see his head is just on a swivel, desperately trying to gain any sense of where somebody might be. It just doesn't find the info, and time goes down. Tough position there for them. And the Broncos now have the round win, and after having lost several in a row, I don't know what the ego is like for Unnamed California College. They may be starting to hurt a little bit here.
And they are also looking to bring the hurt. Look how feverishly they're now pushing this A or this B point. One member of the Broncos in the midst of the point itself could be soon seeking danger, or at least an escape route, and that could be it. Another Tailwind pushing forward with the blind to follow suit, and C16 will pick it up, but two on the backside from the Broncos from Heaven will rain down upon them. They are going to try and get themselves a comfortable hold on this, but with a little bit of extra reverence, the boost pack to barely boop them in position, and they are going to hold this garage point, or not, maybe concede it. No, they are going to hold it, and they do so with a bit of a challenge through the wall, but it does look like the defenders do win as they were able to get the defuse the entire time.
Yeah, just holding the defuse, making sure that somebody wasn't coming from that garage angle. They knew nobody was coming from Heaven, or excuse me, from CT spawn. Guessed that nobody was probably going to be coming from Heaven, just simply based on the fact that they had already seen that semi-recently jump down from there. So keep most of the eyes on garage, stick the defuse, works out well for you there. Just information power.
Information, you know, is power.
Your hat playing very close, actually, on this Omen. I think he's going to stay here. I don't think his plan is to leave. And I kind of like this play because he hasn't been playing down on site proper for at all. Now, unfortunately for him,
there's no one here.
Nobody's going to hit this site. But in a future round, if they do hit that site, no one will be expecting him to be there because he hasn't been there all game long. He could get himself a couple quick kills and, you know, turn around before it even begins.
Trying to maybe look for the lurk, trying to hold this long angle from airport as well. But on the backside of things, pretty comfortable in the fact that this team's able to get this pretty easily done. They were able to find a straggler is what they assume, but I don't think they're aware of how consolidated of an effort this team from unnamed California College is making towards this B site. And they might have to turn tail and run through sewers if they're not going to be able to push through mid or anything.
You can see the momentum is just halted, and this is something that will happen in every single unrated game you will ever play. They try to push up through garage, and they stall out, and they don't want to go back, and they don't want to go forward. And now they're in trouble. They've made a little bit of an A play. The Broncos, unfortunately for them, kind of abandoned watching that A angle right as soon as UCC decided to start pushing up through it. But it doesn't matter because the players watching Mailroom will get all the kills they need, and there's only one remaining in mid for UCC. It's just that poor Omen, and he is all alone.
If he tries to go through, again, this is exactly a point you made in the last map. The Broncos are now swarming from almost every angle, and might be able to get an exit kill, looking for a flawless opportunity. The time will go out, another will be given. No flawless either as they will meet, but, you know, 1 for 5, I think they'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're braced, you're just happy you got a kill on your way out there. You're just glad you didn't get, you know, styled on a little bit, get 1v5 there. So Broncos with quite a few round leads now. Going to get a beautiful instant replay of this fantastic retake that came in here. As well as this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. You can see him desperately searching for any sign of where somebody might be. Doesn't find it in time. It's taken out by that hologram bull. Your hat playing down on site proper once again. I really, really like this. I just want them to hit. I want them to hit A while he's here, so it'll pay off.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get through these kind of shorter engages where they feel like they have more power. You know, no operator being here. Here comes the boombox as well. But the ultimate from Dreammaker will completely nullify any sort of pursuit through that side. And I wish we could see exactly where they're looking down. It looks like, you know, a lot of these angles are being completely covered. The Broncos not even putting themselves in a position to be exposed. You know, they're sitting in Mailroom, and they're not even going towards B. They said if they push through B, we do have your hat on the long con for A. And this could be an opportunity for this positioning to shine. We see that the Broncos have forced unnamed California College to do a full 360, and then they decide, maybe we shouldn't go here, and then they go to B or A instead.
Ooh, not going to hit the shots there. Going to get himself tagged up just a little bit, but they will know exactly where the hit is coming in. Using the TP, get himself out to safety, does your hat. So they lose position on the site, but they have everybody alive, and that's somehow more important. They're going to get a trade kill. Brace going to spray one through the smoke, and the showstopper gets another one. So we're at an even man play here. 3 versus 3. Legit Soldier, no fear, dashing down the ramps. He's got a pretty good idea that most of the players are playing on site proper, so they're going to hit from 3 separate angles here, and hopefully that play works out for them well.
Force them into a corner. They don't have a lot of things to put in that corner just yet. Slow orb could be huge here if it was still available, but I don't think that's an opportunity for them. Here comes the alarm from, of course, the Killjoy, and it detonates right before she gets taken out, but on the backside, they'll be pushed out. It's going to be a 1 versus 1. They're going to go for the bait, and they actually get the shots. A incredible game sense here from Soldier will actually get themselves the round win off that final flick. No, it's actually too late. I didn't get to hear the beeping.
Yeah, the beeping is key.
Beeping's key.
Oh, that's so disappointing, though. He almost had what he needed. He got the kill even, just unfortunately forced to take himself off that spike defuse. Just gives enough time for that to get through. If he was able to hold that, he would have gotten it. The first time he touched the spike, he did have time, but the second he had to break to take to shoot was all it takes for the spike to go off. Well played, honestly, there from Brace. Just peeking at the right moment to making sure that Spike doesn't get to half, but making sure that he doesn't sacrifice his life for nothing either. Your hat playing an interesting angle here. You don't see this played very often. I'm not sure why he's looking at the ground. He's keeping his head out of the way.
Yeah, you have to duck down, otherwise that's not enough to duck down behind, and doesn't really look like they're wanting to go for here. Maybe just a bit of a bait, as B looks to be the prime choice for attack for the side of unnamed California College, but a nice rotation and a counter rotation could be where they want to go instead. It's all about mind games here at this point. Most of these teams, struggle to try and find an ability to mess with the mind of their opponent, and that's exactly how you do so. The firepower will be that of unnamed California College, and they are spreading the bullets across the way. 2 members from the Broncos remain, but is it going to be enough to get the 5 out? It's a big question, but it is possible. Dreammaker nowhere near ultimate right now. We'll have to see shortly how close Bandit is to their ultimate. The Empress could be huge here in order to deter any sort of advantage given by this 2 versus 5, but doesn't look like an opportunity. They walk into a couple members from, of course, UCC, and it's going to be a nice exit kill from the side of Dreammaker, but that'll be about it.
Almost got a second one. Player from UCC was very low, hiding behind the box there, but not able to pick up what he needs. You hear it from the announcer. This is the last round of the half. So after this one, Eco is going to be reset. Sides are going to be reset. We're going to see how things are going. On the other side of that, we may end up with a very runaway game. One team might just really favor attack, or maybe more of the same. This should just be a nail biter and be extremely close. Both teams will definitely be able to afford a full buy this round. Actually, no.
No.
Interestingly, Dreammaker going to favor a judge. He doesn't have quite enough to pick up something a little bit more expensive. So
I like the judge. It's okay.
If you have to save, there are worse options you can take. It can be very deadly in the right circumstances, especially the circumstances that Dreammaker does tend to play. Close angles, hitting people when they don't expect it, wall bangs, that sort of thing. That's all the sort of judge territory. Oh, misses the blast pack up to the ledge, and unfortunately also gives himself away. So grenade comes in, tags up a couple of the players. Oh.
Wow, you're absolutely kidding me.
I can't believe he got away with that.
The double flick opportunity, and that DPI has got to be proven comfortable right now. The judge push into the nanoswarm grenade, not going to be huge, but there are short angles to challenge here, and this could be huge, but no! The health off of that nanoswarm grenade gives enough advantage, and they actually win the round because of it. Tying things up 6-6 and going into the swamp.
Oh, so sad. I thought Dreammaker had it. He had the perfect angle for the judge to be useful there, but the swarm grenade and the alarm bot giving him away, not able to get the swing that he wants. So we're tied up going into the half. Going to be back on pistols this round. And much like last round, the Broncos lost both of the opening rounds of this game. So like last map, I wonder if they will take both of the opening rounds for the pistol on their attacking half.
That's a lot of frenzies, my friend.
That it does tend to match their play style. All W, hold mouse 1, get kills. If it gets them there, and hey, more power to them, especially because they are in need of some round wins. If they can pick up these first 2, it puts them in a lot better shape later on. You'd rather be ahead 2 rounds than down 2 rounds.
Yeah, and at least one round here goes in favor of them, then they can continue to go for that second one like you mentioned, but it's not always a guarantee, just something that we commonly see after the pistol goes by the way of the enemy. But we'll have to see if this full frenzy buyout could be fruitful for them.
I like the grenade play to go back in the corner there. They're going to force whoever's there to back away. Now it is an Omen, he might be able to TP, but he'll instead just paranoia, and he might even get out with his life. He gets a counter kill, and the grenade coming in from the Omen on the side of UCC gets a kill of his own. It's a 3v3. The spike is down. Lycan gets a kill over the top of the wall. Well done.
Wow.
Well done by him again.
Lycan.
He'll go down to the ghost of Esperanto, but now it's a 1 versus 2, and Esperanto has to push in all on his lonesome. sends in the Cloudburst. Going to seal off a little bit of Garage. Unfortunately, there's nobody playing that corner.
They don't know. They're going to have to flick over, and it's just a Ghost versus 2 Frenzies. It's going to be tough, especially when you're not aware. Broncos calling the bluff, saying, hey, he's still behind the wall, but great play from them, and this could result in another one going by their way. We'll have to see what they do with it. You're not purchasing anything quite yet.
Got a couple Spectres. The heavy armor has been bought. I think it's going to be a full buy for them, or at least as much of a full buy as you can make on round 2 in Valorant.
Bulldog here from Bandit's going to be huge as well. What we do see oftentimes when people are extremely accurate, Bandit being one of those players, this Bulldog just doing tremendous amounts of work here.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper than some of those longer rifles. Doesn't really do quite as well at aiming down its sights, but can be just as deadly up close and personal if you're choosing to, you know, kind of hip fire. So definitely not a weapon you want to be sleeping on, especially for 800 credits less than the Vandal and the Phantom generally are. And it's a split push attack from Boise State here. They've got a couple making some noise in A, and they got a couple pushing a little bit of pressure in the garage. And they'll even get a kill. So now it's very confusing for UCC as to what side the hit is coming from, and they're kind of, you know, they're stuck. You can see all the players, nobody really rotating to one side or the other, making a little bit of a peek towards mid, and Dreammaker almost getting a kill there, going to send the grenade into vents as well. So now the Broncos have a ton of information and a ton of control on A site. I think they're going to feel like that's the safer site, and they're going to choose to hit over there.
Oh, slick, but not too soon. The Classic will end up winning that out, and a fair amount of damage being given over to Killjoy, but not enough for them to feel comfortable walking into Prey's arms. But with the spray, and Prey actually ends up working out for them. 2 members remain from UC Davis as the Broncos will push forward, get the spike planted, and now it's all about the retake.
There are 2 players remaining. One is completely sealed off by this Bandit Lurk. He is nowhere near of help to anybody, and his teammate...
He actually gets it with the last bullet in the clip through the wall. And now it's going to be Various versus the world. It doesn't have the resources, has just a Ghost. It's going to have to be 4 back-to-back headshots for him to win this out.
He's got a couple players extremely low. Any amount of damage whatsoever onto, well, he just got healed up because that's the power of Sage, but onto the Omen for Boise State would have resulted in a kill, but Dreammaker with the long-range spray, using that Spectre, gets what he needs. 8-6.
If not for that heal, Dreammaker would have fallen there.
Yeah, he probably would have. So then, you know, that round is
like
very
1 HP
different.
after that. Various had gotten him that low.
The Sage pick makes a big difference in that round. She is so much more than just her wall, and the heal is so much more than just a heal. Sometimes you're like, okay, well, you know, she's just a healer. But what the healer brings to you is it makes damage not necessarily permanent. And for everybody else in the game, it is.
So tough. I mean, the Broncos had a few members that were low. It's a tough call on who to heal. If only they released someone that had the ability to heal more than one person.
It's a shame. It's almost like she was even hovered, but not taken.
I can't imagine that being in the game. That'd be too strong, right?
No, they would never put that in the game.
Never do that. They never put a long-range shotgun in the game either.
They also wouldn't bring an Australian into the game. Oh, wait a second.
Wait a second. Yeah, they did. But we won't see them today. We'll see continued the tried and true kind of draft when it comes to this map from the Broncos because that's the one that they practice, and rightfully so. They've gotten themselves in a comfortable lead situation right now. Maybe not as comfortable as they wish. Here comes the Lear, going to be rightfully placed exactly where things are going to be contested. Goes for another one, but the nano grenade will get them down a dip. Unfortunately, not the character you feel comfortable with. Just as you had mentioned, damage is not permanent when it comes to Reyna, but he does walk into the full arsenal of this UCC team, and just like that, 2 members of the Broncos remain. If they can pick up the scraps, it's going to be a tall order, but it's still possible.
Actually, very luckily for Dreammaker, that bot is going to be recalled. That would have revealed him there, so he does have a little bit of freedom to play up in heaven, but they are in trouble because the spike is down on the ground right there, and it is watched from multiple different angles. That is going to be a nightmare and a half trying to pick up that spike for the 2 remaining Broncos.
It's like a bunch of hawks just looking at a mouse in a field, and they are not willing to concede that angle either. No blinking allowed. Wait, hawks don't blink, or?
Are just anybody watching that spike is not blinking in that circumstance? Nobody's blinking. Dreammaker once again going to contest heaven up here. He's got a little bit of opposition in the form of Braced, who will get a headshot kill on the Lycan, and Esperanto will finish off Dreammaker, and that'll be it. 8-7. But as we say so many times, the Broncos, off of the bonus second round, were a little bit strapped for cash. Didn't quite have enough to buy for that third round there. So that does tend to happen. You do tend to see one going one way and the third going the other way on a lot of these maps. So a little bit predictable, a little bit to be expected. This is the first round where we're going to see a full gun buy from both teams. This is the first time on the Broncos attacking side where we're going to see what we would, the closest to what we would call a normal even round.
Happy Bomb. Go, Happy Bomb, go. Goes into the darkness, fearless as it is, that of a brave little toaster, but detonating soon in proximity of an enemy. Will be shot? No. Will finally be taken out, and they know someone's down there trying to mitigate a lot of this utility from the Broncos, and
he gets
they have
tagged
to be
out
careful
too.
with that. Does get tagged up a bit, a substantial amount, but on the back end it does look like Lycan will falter to a headshot. Gonna push forward as much as they can, trying to be reserved with their decision. They don't want to commit to something that's not safe. Unfortunately, you know, there's not a lot of safety when it comes to this game. Maybe going through market to mid will be met with opposition. Bullets being sprayed everywhere. Here comes the full heal, back to full health. Here comes a grenade as well, able to dodge that out. And again, you saw how reservation pays off. If instead they were just kind of amped up and going forward with the momentum of that kill, they would have walked straight into that grenade and kind of lost all their overhealing they just received. Nice leer, and it will actually be used. The judge versus them will actually be blinding himself. A triple kill from C16. The judge popping off, but you got to question that leer. I don't know, man.
I can't even hate, though, that close judge hold and then using the flash to get himself. I mean, that was all on the back of the flash coming in from the breach, actually.
Yeah, true.
Without being able to see, that round goes very differently for the Broncos, but they get flashed, and then they have no idea where the shotgun blasts are coming from. So the quick swing, 3 players go down for the Broncos. That was just, it was just clean. I can't even hate. It was just so clean.
And another tie-up, one we've seen back and forth. This map being a little bit more contested and hot and heavy than the other one. And hot and heavy will be that here in the middle of the game as well. Resurrection will be given. No, doesn't have it as an opportunity. Heals across the board. Heals themselves. Another flash coming through the wall, and they do have 2 more. Going to tag a little bit of them up. Another flash will give out as well. And this breach is really showing why this is a great character on this map. So many opportunities to flash through these walls, but when it comes to being busy flashing, you're not able to get the gunshots down. The blast will be given out. They're going to push forward, going to bounce themselves up, but will actually catch the grenade or the rocket launcher from that of C16 as well. And that was a huge opportunity. I wonder if they wanted to blast forward. And that's a 3rd kill again for C16. They are completely popping off right now. Just like that, though, Bandit will take one out, and it's a 1 versus 2 situation. Will be met with the spray and pray method almost from that of course, unnamed California College. And just when the Broncos thought that they had a semblance of control, it has gone by the wayside. And that's an operator.
That is an operator for Esperanto. Now, he is not C16. C16 was the op player on Bind, so maybe it's the agent pick. Maybe it's the, no, because they're playing the same agents. Very interesting. I don't know why he's decided to op. Maybe they're both op and
feeling
Esperanto's
himself.
Just feeling himself right now.
It's got to be one of those times you're like, I can't op right now, or hey, I can't miss.
Right?
Give me the op.
Sometimes the op is just feast or famine, and Esperanto is top fragger right now for the side of unnamed California College, so he might just be feeling himself and decides he's going to op. Last Pack's going to send Dreammaker up to heaven. There's nobody playing that close corner, but he will catch sight of somebody playing. Oof. Very well played from Braced. Just peeking enough to get the shots around the corner, takes out Dreammaker, and now the Broncos have kind of committed to a site with 1 player, but the rest of the players are still in mid, where they're not going to meet much resistance. So I don't know which way they're going to decide to go. Lycan playing a dangerous game, barely escapes with his life. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why you shoulder peek, because otherwise you're dead.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Just the patience and reservation paying off for almost a free elimination, almost a one-way, but not probably exactly how far they wanted it to extend in the middle of that hallway, but they'll use it to the best of their advantage. Bandit looking for any sort of reset ability. Does have the Huntress, not going to use it so far. The operator does actually eventually find Lycan over there on the other side of the world. A nice 1v1 and a nice set of bullets coming out from now Braced, and the Broncos 2 members down, or 2 members remaining with 0 to answer on the other side. We're going to have a tough time pushing on to this point.
Yeah, this is really tough because you have smokes, and smokes are the natural counter of the op. But you've only got one at the moment. You don't have time to wait for the second.
10 seconds left.
And you don't, oh, well, gets one, but not going to get a second as C16 swings on him from the stairs. And that's going to be it. Even if the Broncos do manage to survive here, they don't have time to plant any spikes. So, defender win. UC, or not UC Davis. Unnamed California College going up 10-8 as the Broncos are starting to struggle just a little bit, and you're starting to sweat too.
I think this is kind of the similar thing that had happened last map, in which they didn't have their foot so hard on the gas pedal. Again, the Broncos are a team that is really prevalent and really puts themselves in a dominant position when they're dictating the pace of the game. I understand that, of course, operators are great guns to kind of deter that, but if they end up putting a lot of their effort on taking the operator away from UCC, this could be huge for them. Flash will go through the wall again. They're going to go for the second flash and maybe the third one as well. And that's going to be 6 seconds of flash, enough to buy enough time for the remaining members of this UCC team to push forward. And now just one remain. Unfortunately, couldn't get themselves into a really good advantage point just because, again, those flashes bought so much time. But, I mean, when it
Lycan
comes
is just
down
not
to
allowed to play there.
That's true.
He
Poor
got
guy.
blinded, or he got paranoid, and then blinded 3 times in quick succession. That was like a total of 15 seconds, which is an eternity in Valorant, where he was just standing defenseless.
Poor guy. I think you have to consider, you know, when they had a dominant fashion on that point before, if they go towards B, to put resources in that back corner, making sure that there's no rocks unturned, and really putting the safety of a lot of this position from unnamed California College to rest.
Bandit going down very early to that explosive op that's being held by Esperanto, and now the Broncos are left in, once again, a difficult position. They've got players playing on both sides of the map, but no real information about who's playing where, other than the fact that an op might be on one side. So now they've got to move over to the other side with most of the players as Sage is rotating backwards through the spawn of the attackers, and Dreammaker moving up towards Heaven. They're going to perform a very, very careful A hit. But Esperanto is waiting right on the other side of this corner with the op. One wrong move. Oh, using the blast back to get himself past
So
the op
smart.
shot is just a treat. Genius. Gonna miss a second shot. Wow. Esperanto getting tagged up. And
Comes
the
the
res
res.
comes through. So Boise State's back on man advantage.
A
and the op has
third
been
shot missed.
the op has been pushed out of position.
Here comes
Wow,
the
the
push as
Smurfsicles,
well.
that's it. Coming in clutch. He's gonna get 4.
Down A.
Dreammaker, the
Wow.
only one remaining alive, and he doesn't have the spike. He's gonna try and get.
Not going to give him the ace. No. Wait, they did
He
it.
did. No, he did.
He
Ace.
got the ace.
Ace for Smurfsicles. Very well played from him.
Match point.
And now the Broncos are up match point, and this is scary. At best, if you're the Broncos, you're looking at an overtime play. At
I
worst,
mean-
we're headed to a map 3.
Yeah, you have to consistently win not only 3 in a row, but then have to win 2 following. That's a tall order. But again, when it comes to this game, yes, it's momentum based. Yes, the econ does have a pretty huge influence on how the round, forward is played out. But you just have to treat it as a round per round game.
Yeah, you really need to not panic. It's important that you keep your mental state in play and you don't try and force yourself to make hero plays. Sometimes when you're down this many rounds, you feel like you're the one responsible for making the hero play, and that more often than not just results in sloppy play that gets you killed.
Yeah, you can't assume anything. You just have to continue to be prepared for everything. Every angle is dangerous. There's someone hiding behind every angle. They have the best gun for holding that angle. They have an operator. Whatever the assumptions you need to make, they need to be ones that are cautious, I think. And just like that, one member of Broncos team will go down, and they're going to continue to push forward. Do have a bit of a shotgun advantage if they can get themselves into close range, and they do so, but much to their dismay, there's a member, again, C16 holding that ground and doing so much damage for the remaining roster. And I'm not surprised they're where they are on the leaderboard, but I feel like they deserve to be a little bit higher. Defender, Killjoy, ult, containment field will deter the Broncos advance for a few more seconds, and that ends up putting them in a position where they can be rotated on. Barely gets himself out of the detainment. Like 1 second more, and that would have gone the way of course, UCC. And 1 versus
30
3.
seconds left.
It's a close one. It's a tall boy, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure. Lycan trying to play safe here, but he doesn't have time to really do that. Yeah, it's such a tall ask to get yourself into the win there. So, wow, we're 1-1, and we are going to a map 3. This one is a nail biter, ladies and gents. Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast talent. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. That is a wonderful place to get started. You can join us here in the production team. You can join the players on each of those games. If you are a top tier player, we want you to join our teams.
If you can beat me in a 1v1. No, I'm just kidding. That's such a low bar, actually.
A 1v1 in what? Which game?
Uno.
We don't have an Uno team.
Yeah, but that's how you know strategically if they're sound or not.
Oh, okay.
If you can beat me in Uno, you know me. I'm holding those draw 4 every time. That's my Uno card. You can't stop me from playing it.
Well, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for map 2. We're going to take one more short break. We're going to head on over to map 3, but don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Killjoy, not going to detain everybody. So it's a 2v3. The Broncos do have the Lear and have the Empress online. They're going to use the Showstopper their own. They get 2!
My goodness!
He gets 2 with the Showstopper. Bandit swings and gets the 3rd, and the defuse is going to come in for the Broncos.
A Bandit, he's holding his angles, and he knows exactly where to be. The turret's going to be found out, but it's going to be enough. He is going to be vulnerable because of the Nat Storm, but it doesn't matter. Lycan is too accurate, and 1 member will remain. He's actually able to pick up 1, and Varys is going to do what they can to try and go for the 1 versus 2, but unfortunately couldn't find the angle of pursuit and will be taken out from Dreammaker.
That's all the sort of judge territory. Oh, misses the
get
flash
it.
pack up to the ledge, and unfortunately also gives himself away. So grenade comes in, tags up a couple of the players. Oh,
Wow, you're absolutely kidding me.
I can't believe he got away with that.
The double flick opportunity. And
Welcome back, everybody, to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. That was a brief recap of the highlights of that previous map. It's been quite close. It's been a nail-biter. A little bit of a heartbreaker. That last one did go the way of defeat for the Broncos, but we are loading up. We are getting ready. We're excited and pumped for map 3, the deciding map of this NECC Collegiate Valorant regular season matchup between Boise State Broncos and the unnamed California College.
yeah, I mean, whoever wins this next map gets to take away the W. So, and both teams showing a lot of moments of highlight and maybe some points of criticism as well. But when it comes down to it, this is why we like watching these kinds of competitive series, because it is both these teams going blow for blow. And again, we're down to the final lap.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. We're going to be very interested to see how it goes here. Quick reminder for everybody, if you're just joining us, of the Valorant NECC League rules. We have a 9-week series. We're in week 7 right now, only a couple to go. 30-plus teams, they compete in best-of-3 sets. And those maps are set in advance each week, so the home team is going to pick their first and third map opening side. The away team picks their second map opening side. And the Broncos are in our Champions Division. We've got 3 divisions here in the NECC League: the Champions Division, the Challengers Division, and the Emergence Division. And I believe their opponents tonight are... Actually, I don't know what division their opponents are in.
They're unnamed, of course.
They're unnamed. Very interesting.
It's a mystery.
It is a mystery, but that's what makes it fun. This is Boise State versus the unnamed California College in Valorant. Getting ready, getting set. Our match 3 is coming up. Do you have any predictions where it's going to be, Baratel?
I can tell you it's not Icebox.
Really?
I don't know. I'm trying to like use the caster curse to enable it.
You're
to be
reverse
Icebox.
casting your cursing yourself, trying to make it be Icebox. I got you. Quick rundown of our players here. The Boise State team is fielding tonight is Bandito, Ethan Cobb, Dreammaker, Luke Edwards, Solja, Jack Wilcox, Lycan, Blake Ramsey, and your hat, Seth Banta. They are your Valorant team. They are currently 5-2 in the standings with only 2 weeks left to go before we hit those playoffs. It's going to be very interesting to see how those final 2 weeks go and where the Broncos end up. And I'm not going to lie, this is important. You know, this is difference between 6-2 and 5-3 can make all the difference when there's only a couple weeks left to go in the regular season.
Yeah, and it's also a time to question whether or not you reserve holding out those kind of maybe secret things that you're working on to get yourself into the playoff spot, or you consider, you know, doing what you've done so far to get where you're at and keep chipping away at that without revealing too much.
Well, Boise State and the unnamed California College are moving over to Haven. And Boise State, for the first time in this set, is going to be starting on the attacking side. Haven't done that yet. Maybe that's going to be the key to success for them to get out early and get the win here. Not anything too crazy from either team. This is pretty standard from the Broncos, what they tend to run on Haven. This Killjoy is one of their staples they like to run on Haven. On the opposite side, this could be straight out of your meta ranked games for unnamed California College. This is the 2 duelists, the Sentinel, the Initiator, and the Controller. That's as meta as it gets. So nothing too crazy coming out here for either team.
And this could be maybe a change of pace in terms of they feel confident that they can win and get a huge round lead when it comes to being on attack first. So this could be why they want to do so. When it comes to the swap, though, it is both a financial reset, swapping of the sides, but it's also a mental reset. So that might not be something that they can guarantee a win on.
It's also interesting because Haven is the only site or map in the game that has 3 sites.
Yeah.
And for that reason, some people tend to realize or tend to think that it can be a little bit attacker-sided because the defense is spread just a little bit more thinly. The Broncos, with their fast pace, maybe are hoping to come out strong, come out hard, get tons of round wins under their belt, and just kind of make the game feel unwinnable by hitting hard and hitting fast first. Maybe that's their thought process here in choosing the attacking side first. We'll have to see how that goes, as Broncos are actually spread quite evenly across all the sites. A couple players checking out the situation down A long, a couple players cheating a little bit towards C long. The Jin Soldier is playing in this cubby. Here's the refresh on that smoke. Probably won't choose to push into it blindly. He's going to throw out that blaze wall. He's going to seal off the garage angle. Oh, thinks better of it. So shots are exchanged. I think he believes that the plays, based on the angle that the shots came from just now, are going to be coming from that tuna can on the left there, especially where the paranoia comes from as well. So sends in the blaze wall, going to seal off the garage. The swings come through, and when it's all said and done, the Broncos lose 2. UCC lose 1.
Lose 1 on the backside, and Broncos are sent scattering as well. Not really able to get themselves in a great position to push forward the remainder of C-Long. So
they didn't get anything on the site. They're stuck here now.
They might be rotated back on CT or T-spawn, but looks like they've sent some members to go check that first. Maybe the healthier members. We do see, of course, your hat with only 23 HP, and now he'll hold the back angle, so make sure they're not rotated on from C-Long. No, It's a bait. They were able to get a elimination there, and that could give information to think that maybe, you know, Boise State's going to go through where they got the elimination. It's a tough call for them, though. Going from Garage, you're actually meeting someone in the mines, and unfortunately, a Frenzy, a Ghost, and another Frenzy at that will hold Stalwart. Another first-round win for UCC.
I'm not crazy about the idea from the Broncos to keep pushing C there. I mean, I know they're working with limited information because their initiator did go down. They don't have any way to gather any info about what's going on behind those smokes. But I feel like, I don't know. You don't have too much time, so I can't fault them for wanting to play the clock and make sure they actually get the spike down. But I feel like in that situation, after that last smoke goes up from the side of UCC on the B long or the C long angle there, I think for my 2 cents, I would switch to the knife and just sprint towards A and just hope you don't run into anybody, because you just know that whoever's playing C has just been killing it so far in the round. Yeah, we do have a Marshall purchase.
Marshall purchase, but a quick B rush could be the play here. They at least get the points for the spike being planted. They're going to push forward as the dart still attached to them for the remaining timer, but we'll time out.
I like this.
Around.
This is the exact opposite play from the last round. They come out hard, they come out fast, they plant immediately, and then they play the post plant.
It needs to be challenged, and it is. Pushing forward will actually be met like it will fall, but a 3-piece for the side of Phoenix, and that's going to be a swift retake from the side of unnamed California College. And great plan for the Broncos. They didn't have a lot of firepower. If maybe the guns were even in terms of ferocity, could have went a different way.
Yeah, Esperanto with a 4K there, but helped out by the fact that he's using a Spectre against those poor lowly pistols of the Broncos. But as we say so often, there's Dreammaker's Odin!
It's time. It's time already for the Odin. And the best place for it is those 2 doors. Doesn't matter what you do with it. The moment that shielding comes off, they are free game to be broken through with a spray of bullets. And what better gun to give that spray of bullets than the Odin?
Dreammaker plus Odin plus garage doors. Name a more iconic trio.
The Three Stooges?
Okay, I give you that. That's fair.
Destiny's Child? I don't know.
Broncos once again playing a pretty spread offense, not deciding to push too hard to one site, looking for weaknesses, gathering information first, and then declaring a site afterwards. B is currently completely unoccupied, but Broncos not able to learn that actually at the moment because their initiator is not playing the B site just yet, hasn't sent in a recon dart, so they're going to get a little bit of info. They'll know someone's playing behind those Radianite crates. Bandit trying to get the spray through, going to get those kills. Not going to find what he's looking for just yet.
You know, I mean, a better call would be just to be having Dreammaker with using that Odin on those boxes. Going to go forward, gets 1 elimination, and a second one at that, double headshots. So they're tuned in, and they want to push forward. Smoke will obscure heaven for now, but they know that someone's going to be there soon, and they did run up. So putting through the floor could be the opportunity. Hot Hand's going to come around and try and get some deterrent here as well.
This is the perfect position you want as the attackers. They got in, they got the spike down, and they got post plants before anybody else was able to enter. This now means that it's a cold retake from UCC. They're going to have to push in with little information and no idea about who's playing where without putting themselves in harm's way.
Oh.
It is going to go more their way than I thought it would, and it comes down to a 1v2, but the final remaining player is braced. He does not have a safe defuse, and time is running out quickly. Yerhat is going to swing from this side. Will get the headshot kill, deny the defuse, and get the Odin out. Is he getting... Oh, he escaped!
He actually got out. That's incredible. He actually gets the gun back to Dreammaker.
Drops it to his buddy. That's the real teammate right there.
We saw last week that Bandit had purchased the Odin for a place. Actually, no, got it saved. But I don't know if this was refusing to give it over to Dreammaker. Not happening so far in this round, and rightfully so. Doesn't even look like we're going to see a buyout from Bandit. He's got the knives online, so this could be the momentum swing that they want to see. They got themselves around, and Broncos, when it typically comes to this opportunity, they don't like to just give the one and done. They want to continue to push an advantage.
Yeah, this is generally a swing round, the 4th round, because the attacking or the Broncos bought the round previously to this. They're going to carry over some of those weapons, but not all. And UCC was able to buy fully for this round, but they used most of their money to do it. So the winner of this one is generally in a good spot.
Wow. The
loser of this one is generally on an eco. And wow, the run it back gets literally the entire site of control there for the Broncos. They have a free plant and force the retake to come out from the side of UCC. And this is the scenario that they love. UCC tends to struggle just a little bit on these retakes sometimes, and the Broncos getting early control means that time is now against the unnamed California College. Your Hat gonna teleport over to the spike itself and get sprayed down. Didn't realize Esperanto was playing behind those Radianite crates there on the left, and now the Broncos have nobody on the site itself. They have the Hunter's Fury to deny the defuse, and it will work. Gets a kill onto Braced, gets another kill onto Various, and he has the Spray King, the Odin, to keep the defuse from coming through. Dreammaker clutching that round for his team there, and it's 2-2. We're tied up.
You know, people complain about the Bucky having long range. Well, the Odin shouldn't be able to do that either, you know? Let's be honest.
The Odin at least has an ADS form,
I guess.
which takes a year to I mean, watch this. That takes forever.
Didn't miss. It's a laser beam.
That's just Dreammaker.
Maybe it's just Dreammaker. Imagine putting yourself through the rigorous training that is learning to recoil control an Odin. To each their own. Now, when it comes to ultimates being used, it was a pretty wide spread across the board. Not a lot in the way of a huge defensive boon for ultimates. Yes, the Omen can do some fancy flanks, but not when you're taken out like that. They're going to push forward as much as they can now with that advantage, knowing that C-Long could be an opportunity to maybe push through. I do like that the Broncos are considering B as a point. Normally we just see people consider A and C, but going through B is also a huge opportunity as well. And the wall bang will be huge as well beyond that. It's going to be a 5 versus 3, but the remaining members from the side of unnamed California College are ones with deadly accuracy. Pushing through garage, not be able to get shot there. Another wall bang, and it could be the first sign of goodness. Oh, and how good is that? Getting a flawless end the round lead. And that's a mental boon if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, like we said, the last round, you lose it if you're UCC. You're forced onto an eco. You lose that one. Now they're a little bit back onto a regular full buy, and they're going to make it a big one. C16 going for the op and the light shield, sacrificing health for the kill potential that op can contain. And it's worked out for him very well so far in the past. We'll have to see if that translates into anything early on in the game. You know, past couple of games, we haven't seen them pull out that op until we're a little bit closer to the end of the half, sometimes even the end of the game. So this is them pulling out the op a little bit earlier. Wonder if that indicates a change of strat or just the belief that they can pull out the op and use it to win.
It's an opportunity, that is for sure. Get it? Opportunity.
Oh, don't ever speak to me again.
Oh, that's not true. That can't happen. We work together.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Cage will be dropped. Let's see what happens here. Going to shoot into the cage a little bit. Not able to find any sort of clinks at all. But the cage will be dropped, and this is a huge opportunity now for both teams. No, another cage will be given out. Auditory cues left and right every time he wiggles in there.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking. Luckily, they can't really do anything about it because there's a teammate watching Bandit's back. But
not a safe corner to push, actually. Yeah, and that's great positioning from the Broncos, but now they're pushing into a 2 versus 2. No one in heaven, so this is the best part that they can have if they land these shots. And they get the one, the reload will give it out, and in the cover as well. Dangerously watching heaven's going to get themselves on the other side of the boxes. And a nice tailwind forward. Now there's going to be 2 members going up to challenge, maybe up there into heaven. The plant will be given out, shots down the hallway. Going to find themselves in under heaven. And a nice shock dart will be giving out a huge amount of damage. And here comes the cloud burst, but will be met with a spray here from the top side. The remainder members of the Broncos will try to get themselves in a position to hold this angle. Nice 1v1, but it'll be met with a 1v2. A nice trade of eliminations back and forth, and now it's 3 versus 3. Broncos know where the spike is, but with that hot hands coming out, not be able to push this. Here comes the curveball for a little bit of blinding action, and the whole time the Broncos are sending one player to rotate from a different angle. Doesn't matter though, because Dreammaker's got his favorite gun. It does not matter exactly what you put up in terms of opposition. You're running out of time. And it does look like the Broncos will take this and put themselves 2 up in the map.
Yeah, I love those post-plant positions there for the Broncos. Unfortunately for UCC, they're a little bit impatient and start to rotate away from the site right as the hit is coming in. Just timing. Timing will get you killed more often than almost anything else in Valorant, and there's almost nothing you can do about it.
They say that hesitation is the seed of defeat.
Yeah, so just a little bit impatient getting themselves out there and ends up falling against them, and then Broncos have the perfect post-plant positions. I especially love the use of the Odin from down there in the long sight line, because while you naturally think of that as something more like a rifle or an op territory, that area in Heaven is so easy to spray down. And what's better for spraying than the Odin? So he's able to use intel from his teammates in order to spray down and get wallbang kills in that Heaven area, and I just think that's genius.
Lycan finds one as well. C16 being taken out, not on their typical raise, but now on the Jet, not doing so well so early in these rounds. But could be something, you know, to turn around during the swap. Odin will be met. The ADS will not be punished because it does not look like there was enough time for even the remaining members of UCC to challenge this. Dreammaker, I don't understand how you have this gun so dialed in, but if you can make some sort of tutorial on YouTube, you probably make a bunch of money.
Disappointing. Legit Soldier almost gets the backstab kill there, and the Spikey's down. Boise State with a man advantage, so forcing UCC to push into them, especially with the smokes and the walls that they are able to put up. They're able to slice up territory and make it extremely difficult for UCC to push any territory safely. They're going to come through window and jump down. They make a little bit of noise there, so Legit Soldier, I think, knows that that's happening and is attempting to backstab them through window. But Braced sees him coming, has the angle covered, and takes down Legit Soldier, but unfortunately, he runs out of time. He's not going to be able to defuse, and Broncos are going to go up 5-2.
Yeah, he's going to get a save, which is nice. Huge kudos to the Broncos for using Blaze as an ability. I often don't see a lot of Phoenixes even purchase it, but I think it's such a huge boon, not only to the health pool of a Phoenix, but also a huge deterrent because it is still a level of obscurity.
Yeah, it's so tragically underused. Phoenix almost like a light controller, you know, he has the hot hands and the wall to deny areas, you know.
And you can curve it too.
Yeah, exactly.
You can curve Blaze, which we don't see. I mean, at the top tier of Phoenix players, we see it often used because it can even put things as a corner itself, but you know, it's all about using it to such an nth degree, and the Broncos are using it to that degree right now. Unfortunately, not able to be using it for the rest of the round as Soldier will walk into a nice spray here from, of course, C16. Spray onto the walls will be a pretty huge deterrent to stay in that area for much longer. Cloudburst everywhere on this point. 1v1 will be met yet again, but this time will be going to favor of unnamed California College, and here comes that Killjoy ultimate. And that could be a huge opportunity for them to capitalize on. They are going to be able to get scouted out, but now it's just 1 versus 3. They'll make it a 0 versus 3. They were able to collapse on that. And unfortunately, the Killjoy ult, while it is fantastic when you can guarantee that the detainment happens, it's also a huge alert to what point you're trying to consider.
Yeah. And I sense a tempo shift here from the unnamed California College. It feels like that final round, they were like, you're not the only team that can play aggressive. They come straight out of the gate and charge up mid, getting an early kill onto, I think it was Lycan?
Soldier.
Was it Soldier?
First blood for that round was Soldier.
Yeah, exactly. So easily able to get that early kill by just charging up mid.
That's not what you want to see.
You never want to blind your own teammate.
That's an operator.
And on the retake, you know, they were not afraid of that detain right there. They charged straight in and played just outside the walls of the detain. So, you know, UCC finally understanding that maybe they need to answer aggression with aggression just a little bit, but unfortunately not going to play that way in this round. Early round kill goes to the Broncos. The plant comes down, and once again, it's an A-site retake. Broncos have been pretty solid preventing these A-site retakes from UCC, especially if they have the smokes to keep Heaven smoked off, and they do. Off is playing up there.
And they know it too. Jordan's not able to find any information just yet, but the recon dart will. The Cloudburst, although they are momentary, are continuing to hold off that immense amount of pressure, but the bullet spread will be everywhere. And now after the dust settles for just a moment, it is 3 versus 3. It's up to whether or not the Broncos have that post-plant positioning, and it doesn't matter. You're pushing in the Soldier. He's not getting eliminated this time, and he'll take out a 2, and on the backside will be the full sweep. The Broncos up 3-0 will take it around back.
Even get the op, so 5,000 credits swing towards the attackers there that the defenders had just spent to buy that.
Yeah, and again, huge kudos. It seems like the difference is night and day between these tailwinds. We unfortunately saw a lot of blunders when it came to Bandit playing this agent last week, kind of getting themselves stuck on walls, on corners, but every time they have an opportunity to use it, and these tailwinds are a repositioning nightmare for UCC.
Especially if the opper is the Jet, because you can take ridiculously aggressive angles and get out safely because you can't be punished quickly enough. Or at least it's tough to punish quickly enough. Ooh, spray down, tagging up, braced there, so he's going to be low on health. Ooh, But Legit Soldier finding a trade kill. Various. Hey, it's your favorite gun!
I love this so much.
He got a
And the
Bucky
Storm
kill.
is going to get taken out from the Sheriff. The Sheriff will actually get 2. It'll actually get 3
Get
here.
3.
It does not get 4, and thank goodness for that, but it's a 1 versus 1. Spike is not down yet because it's down on the ground. Has to pick it up. Going to go for maybe an opportunity here. Nice obscurity of vision. Paranoia will come out. They're holding a weird angle, but they are going to get taken out from the Sheriff, and the Thrifty from the side of UCC after the Broncos had so much success being hyper aggressive. They'll finally get shut down, and the op will be back in the waiting hands of the other Jet now.
I know, he's just switching sides for this op. Honestly, I don't even...
C16's not doing as hot, though, as the other 2 maps.
No.
They're at the bottom of the board.
Yeah, I think the op is a little bit more easily punished on this map because most op lines are very easily smoked off. You got A Heaven, easy to smoke. And you got C long, easy to smoke, and you got mid, easy to smoke.
Yeah.
Whereas you can play a few more different kind of quirky off angles on things like bind and split using that op. This one is a little bit easier to just kind of completely deny the op angle and force them to look away.
I really don't want the Broncos to feel, unfortunately now at that situation, maybe feel a little bit more reserved. I don't want the way that the last round went to prevent them from being aggressive, because you saw how well things went both that round and the round previous until things went wrong. And it's off the cusp of being this kind of hyper-aggressive, super high-octane team. Them playing slow is giving the opportunity for UCC to dictate the pace, and that's not how they win.
Yeah, and I also feel like the Broncos might be a little bit down on themselves, their own play style after the way that round went, but I honestly don't think they played anything necessarily wrong.
It was just a Sheriff, really.
It was just, yeah, Braced was just really cracked that round. So sometimes rounds just go that way. It doesn't mean the strat you were running is a bad one. Broncos only have 35 seconds left. Now they only do have 2 players playing this site. So they may have the advantage they need to swing and get these early kills here.
Look how cautious they're being now, as opposed to the bravery and almost kind of haphazardness they were running into this point before 2 rounds ago. Now the cautiousness that they're using is kind of being detrimental, giving so much time for UCC to push in through for the defense, and now it is going to be another sweep over, 3-0 in terms of members, and UCC will answer back another round.
And as you can see, once again, the Broncos tend to slow their pace down. They're unsure of themselves. It's not even necessarily that the Broncos play, because they can play slowly and play well. But it feels like when they play without a plan is when they tend to struggle. A lot of these rounds that they go in slowly, it feels like they just kind of send a couple people to each site to see what happens and then make a plan from there. And I think the Broncos play at their best when they're playing a strat that is either aggressive or that requires them to be proactive in their thought process. They don't even have to push aggressively, but they know what they're doing, and it's a plan of some kind.
There's often a question on whether or not being proactive or reactive is better. Looks like they're trying to be on the proactive cusp this time. Has a fair amount of guns. They got the Judge, but unfortunately the 2-spray from the side of UCC is going to take out 2 members from the Broncos roster. Recon Dart will give out information, but information cannot be used if you're not alive, and information will not be used here as well. The backside will be challenged. The side sounds will be a huge opportunity for them, but it's now a 1 versus 2, and it's going to be a dangerous one at that. They only have 7 bullets remaining in the clip, but the blind will be given out, and they will be taken. Almost had an opportunity for them to push forward, but unfortunately when it comes down to it, played a little bit on the more conservative side and gave enough time for UCC to reinforce that area.
Beautiful teamwork there from both players remaining on UCC. The blind comes out from the blind comes out from one direction, and the recon bolt comes out from another, and so you're just left with nowhere to look because you have no idea who's going to swing first.
It's a pretty fatal sandwich, if I do say so myself, and that's some weird bread.
Broncos now switching over to the defense. The eco switches, the side switches, and a tactical pause happens.
I mean, every time this happens, it takes a couple rounds for the Broncos to get themselves back into a groove of things. So maybe that's something that's being used as a strategic kind of cold. You know, or the Broncos just coming off of a lost round. You would think that UCC or would be willing to go forward into the round, but with the complete swap reset, maybe getting a mental reset could be beneficial for either team.
Yeah, I think the Broncos, You got to remember, they were ahead by quite a few rounds, and they just started to drop one after another until now we're tied up. Yeah, almost 4 rounds in a row there, you can see on the scoreboard for UCC. So it's just, it can be tilting a little bit, and I think it's important when you reset the half to reset your mind as well so that you don't make bad plays and carry that anger and aggression over to another half.
Well, there is a big difference when it comes down to swapping the half, and it's something that we often see on the Broncos roster when they go through with their draft. It's either they have the Cypher or the Killjoy, which tend to be a little bit more beneficial having when you're on the defender side of things.
It's very interesting actually to think about. Been watching Valorant here for almost a couple hours, and it's all going to come down to what is essentially a best of 7.
Yeah.
The second half of this map might as well be us starting at the beginning. We're just going to play a best of 7 and see who wins. Whoa,
Nice
Bandit
dash
barely
forward.
getting away there. The first
11
pulse of the
HP.
shock dart taking him down to 11 health, but not quite finishing him off, and he's able to use the tailwind to get away.
Here comes that owl drone. Means that there's just still a hot spot for them to contest, and the Broncos, they do start sending people over to start defending in reinforcement status, but they're still holding the opportunity for maybe B to be the point of contention. Unbeknownst to them, though, with them
30
sending
seconds
members
left.
elsewhere, C's going to be the prime angle for attack, and University of this unknown college, California style, will be giving forward a huge boon in time, and they got the plant down, and now it's up to the Broncos to react. And with them being on the other side of the map, they don't have a lot of time to do so.
Lycan will get 2 with his frenzy though before he goes down, and that's all the entry the Broncos need. They'll send in the recon dart to give them some intel, but the spray is going to come through from Various. He's going to get 2, and Smurfsicles is going to finish off the last one for his 3rd on the round. And UC Davis go up 1, and as we're constantly saying, we wouldn't be surprised if that ends up becoming 2.
It's a question whether or not it will be. I mean, it's a question mark maybe written in erasable pen or, you know, pencil. Not something written in marker, though, because it is not definitive. The Broncos did have a great showing of them being able to recontest, but when it came down to it, walking into the welcoming arms of this unknown California college just gave away what they had gained in terms of advantage that round.
They're mostly going to be going with sheriffs, some longer range type stuff, no shorties, no frenzies or anything like that here. So going to take these long angles, use the bandit and that tailwind to get some info. They're going to see that it is a full C hit. They said lots of players coming down that sight line. So they're going to know that it's probably just going to be a 5-on-5 retake here because they're going to be unlikely to be getting some time to prevent this spike, especially when Dreammaker goes down to the Spectre spray through the smoke.
Okay. Classic as an opportunity. Soldier picking up 1, even it up 4-4. The bomb has been planted. Spike is down here on the ground. Here comes the charge to try and get some information. A nice trade, another one, 1-for-1. How can the Broncos use this to their advantage? We'll have to find out, and that could be the start of it. No, unfortunately, the trades will then start going awry for them. And now, unknown California College will go 8-6. Again, as you had mentioned, that was kind of a premeditated or predicted thing. Giving the Broncos an opportunity now to buy could be a huge opportunity for them to start getting some points back in their favor.
Absolutely. This is going to be their first full buy of the half. It's going to be interesting to see if their strategy changes when they have the rifles they'd like to be holding. Almost everybody got the full buy they need. Looks like Bandit only going to be having enough money for a light armor, so he'll be a little bit weaker, but he's the Jet.
R16 still, or C16 still sitting on the Sheriff, and it looked like a frenzy there on the side of this UCC team as well. But nice challenge, a solo versus 2. It didn't see long. That smoke will buy enough time for them to maybe get some nice pop shots through that, but no commitment either from either team.
And because the Broncos do have rifles, they're able to force the full 5-man send down C-Long away. It's not going to work out quite as easily for UCC this time. They're going to have to think of something else. So they come in through a barrage hit, led by the drone. Unfortunately, Legit Soldier gets caught on the corner and sprayed down by the Spectre, but he'll be answered back with a kill onto the run it back. So now it's a 4 versus 4. Dreammaker is going to die if he peeks this corner. Yeah, unfortunately gets taken down by the Sheriff, and Braced holding the
Just
frenzy.
press left click.
Right? It can be so frustrating to be a spectator and to know that there's somebody there when they don't, because they don't get to see those silhouettes, only we do. Your hat might be getting a free kill if he ends up being more patient on that one. It felt like he knew there was somebody there and was just waiting for that patience to pay off. Boise State still down a man, though. They're going to use this turret, going to get a bit of information that somebody's playing on the other side of
Wow. How informed to put it outside the smoke as well. Great play there again from the Broncos side, but it's going to be another 1v1, and beeping will get faster as things go forward. Obscurity, no, it's a paranoia. Into the orb they go, but they're going to go for the fake plant up on the board. They heard the upwind, but it's going to be a tailwind outside. The updraft is not going to be enough. Here comes another updraft as well, and it's just going to be a failed 1v1. The Sheriff versus, I do believe, the Spectre, and a huge success from the side of UCC, and they get themselves out, but all things considered, they kept their gun for the first 3 rounds. They're okay with losing it either way.
That is really disappointing, especially if you're Hat in that situation. You feel like you have the superior gun. You even had a little bit of a drop on C16 because you entered the site and knew roughly where he had to be playing from, but just positioning and timing ends up working out very well for C16, and using the Jet's mobility to get up on top of the box and then dash again, it just ends up playing out very well for him there. Absolutely an earned win, but very heartbreaking for your Hat.
Yeah, and even if the 1v1 didn't go the way of C16, I think with how mobile they were able to be, they bought enough time to stop the prevention from that spike detonating. So good play on their side, and you know, it gives a huge boon as to why they're so far ahead. It does look like Sickles will actually get the neural death, giving a huge amount of information to the remaining members of their team. And that's going to be all 5. No, it's going to be a trade-off, 4 versus 3. Sickles will try to hold this as best they can. Spike is not to be planted just yet. And it does look like they are on the weaker side with no healing on their end. The 2 versus 4 could be a huge way through Smurf, if at all possible. But the health bar is being so healthy from the other side. And, of course, those 2 eliminations will give yet another round over to this unknown California college.
And this is real panic territory. I mean, you've been playing for quite a long time. You're probably worn out. Your nerves, your reactions are slower than they would be. And there's only 3 rounds left for you to make something happen here against the Broncos. This is not good.
You're swimming with a little bit of, you know there's sharks in the water, but it's all about how hard you can punch them in the nose.
Exactly. Broncos
I don't recommend trying to punch a shark in the nose, by the way.
Broncos are going to full buy. They have the money to do that again. So if there is a swing round that can start to bring things back in the Broncos' favor, this is it. They really need something to happen on this one. Most of the hit is going to come down A-long, which is a site that UCC has left virtually untouched so far. So they're going to see this util and the aggression, and they're going to know this is coming, because UCC pretty much always go everywhere as a 5-man group. There's almost never any flanks or fakes. So they're going to drop the defender's Killjoy in a place that it is not able to be shot at without some serious pushing. But they do have the Hunter's Fury. They may be able to spray it down. Yeah, they get it shot and sprayed down through the wall using that Hunter's Fury. But the op in the hands of Bandit may be just what they need. He gets 1 onto C16. He almost gets a second, but Smurfsicles gets the headshot kill onto Bandit. There's only legit soldier remaining, and he is blind. He might, doesn't get what he needs. Esperanto gets his 3rd kill of the round. And they are up 5 rounds, only 2 remaining between the Broncos, and a rough defeat.
I mean, this is starting to become do or die territory. They look like they had a nice opportunity, forcing, looks like a few bolts from the Hunter's Fury onto their own containment field device, but it wasn't enough. I mean, even with the operator in the hands of such an accurate player as Bandit, wasn't able to get more than 1 elimination. But they did pay for something, though, and they cashed out on 4 out of 5 members. You can see those highlights, meaning that the Broncos are rocking with 4 out of 5 ultimates. Could be what they need to turn the tides in their favor.
Dreammaker's had that strat used. He's been the user so many times, he knows exactly where they're standing and uses it against them to get a wallbang headshot kill using that Sheriff of his, but it's answered back by a quick 1 on a Vandal from C16. Lycan holding a very close angle, but his gunshot will give away that he's playing there. He almost had a perfect backstab, but will not end up taking it. Both players walking away. The gentleman's agreement, we're just not going to fight this one right now.
And they are conceding to maybe think that there's going to be a huge advanced push on this A site, but as you can clearly see on the map, C is the name of the game for this round, and the Broncos are scrambling to get there in time. The jokes are over, and it looks like both teams are fighting for their lives. Despite UCC being up in rounds, they're playing to their top nth degree. They're being pushed to their limits, and it does not look like they're willing to give up. 3 versus 3. Here comes the ultimate here from Soldier. He's actually able to get the trade kill. He will get a rewound back, and it's going to be a nice opportunity for the reset, but it's just him versus the world. 1 versus 2. Not a lot of damage being given onto either the Omen nor the Cypher, so this is going to be a tall order. He knows that they're on this point. He just needs to get himself in the right position to hold it.
Oh, he's looking the wrong direction. He'll get away from the first swing, but not behind cover safely. And it's match point, ladies and gentlemen. This is officially do or die territory. The Broncos are going to have to win 6 in a row just to make it to overtime.
And you can see that they're willing to do so. They're purchasing full out. Does look like the maximum spend is here, and you have to, right? With it being match point, you have to treat it like it could be the game-ending round, but at the same time, it's difficult to just put so much pressure on one round.
Yeah, you got to just take them one at a time, try and remain calm, keep up that teamwork, that communication. That's what got you here in the first place. Bandit holding down a very early op, long angle down this A-long site, so hopefully getting something, but gonna whiff the shot, get himself out safely, but
it's tagged a bit. All of his armor and 40 of his health are gone.
He'll know that there's at least a little bit of pressure coming towards this A site because he's seen 2 players over there now. But UCC unwilling to actually declare a site. They actually get out completely safely and are instead looking to go for a garage hit. Unfortunately, there is a player for Boise State there, Lycan holding a very close angle, sees the smoke come through, and decides he's going to hold something just a little bit safer. UCC not actually going quite for this hit just yet either. Ooh, sees the gun barrel, doesn't get the kill. He can even see Esperanto coming from the gun barrel and still unable to pick up what he needs there. So unfortunate for Lycan. Now Boise State down a player, and the hit is most likely actually headed back towards A, but the Broncos don't know that. They're running low on information. They don't know what side UCC are playing from.
Nice.
Agent Soldier will get a nice backstab kill onto Esperanto, but they have no idea where this hit is coming from yet. They need information, and they need it now. Ooh,
what a shot.
Kill.
Bandit trying to hold the team together, trying to be the backbone, and trying to continue to lead them to success. The cage will come out, the shot will go through, not get the tag. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. They know kind of where they're going to be shooting. They were able to tag one. He actually gets a little bit of information over to Soldier, who will capitalize on it, and it's going to be a 4 versus 2. And the Broncos are charging forward. The Spike carrier will be killed. And it's just 1 versus 4. They actually get this turned around.
Wow.
And in the grips, facing despair in the face, they say, we're not going to die just yet. We don't say die until it's over. So the Broncos holding their own in the final moments can still continue to push this forward. We've seen Bandit get 2 of these really fantastic flick shots, and that could be something, this could be the second win that they just need.
That was a beautiful Hunter's Fury because it gets the information about where somebody is playing underneath, which forces a relocation. And then he's able to use the shock darts to prevent the spike plant at the final moment before it goes down. And that just, they don't even have a chance to plant the spike because the spike plant is denied and then killed by Dreammaker. All the Broncos combining together to get those kills and finish off that round. It was a very clean take, but Dreammaker absolutely coming in clutch in order to deny that plant and get that information. He's also going to send shock dart in right now, maybe prevent the plant? No, not quite going to line up, and the spike will go down on C. So the Broncos in a 5v5 retake. All the players for UCC have vacated. They are gone from the site, and they're planning to smoke off C long and just spray through the site. It's tried and true, time as old as tale. Tale as old as time classic.
Everyone just puts your smokes down here and it'll work out eventually. They try to block it, but the headshot and, of course, the body blocking is not going to be enough. Odin will be a spray of bullets, but it's just going to continue to be spray after spray down the hallway. And C long will be just a catalyst for success. And it does look like, Unknown California College will take it away.
Unknown California College coming in clutch. They're going to take away the win. Very heartbreaking and sad. Boise State losing 2 in a row, but the win was absolutely earned by Unknown California College. They played great, used some great tactics, and were able to just capitalize on the Broncos' weaknesses. Quick reminder, tonight, this is Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your Valorant game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Check out esportstower.com. And you may have a chance to climb up to those highest echelons of Valorant play. That is going to close us out tonight. It's a bit of a heartbreaker, But we do have a player of the game, which we're going to be presenting to you quickly soon, and then we'll have a top 5 plays of the game after that to close us out. As we close, though, we're going to get that player of the game loaded up and everything. What are your takeaways, Baratel? Anything the Broncos need to take away from this and carry forward next week?
It's tough. It's a tough loss. Again, I do always think that when it comes to the way that Bronco teams operate is they take a lot away from these kind of tough and close losses. So I think that next week they'll come with a lot more preparation as to what went wrong. Maybe they can make some adjustments to prevent that going forward. But personally, I saw a distinct lack of shotguns. So maybe, just maybe, kind of change that up and you'll start winning some more.
I think if I'm the Broncos, I would definitely love to just capitalize a little bit more on the way that they tend to handle rounds when the momentum stops. They're kind of thrown for a loop and they have to reassess their plans. But our player for the match was the ever-destructive Dreammaker. He used that Odin to great advantage. He scored a headshots aplenty and made that thing look like the most accurate gun in the game when it is far from that. He played absolutely incredible today. Like we said, in one of those final rounds, that last one the Broncos were able to win using that Hunter's Fury. Getting that information in the denial on the spike plant was key. Getting that beautiful blast pack double kill using the
showstopper,
using
yeah.
the showstopper right there was absolutely beautiful as well.
I forgot this map happened. It's been so long today.
It was such a long time ago, right? It feels like a world away.
And yeah, kudos. I think that Dreammaker really held to their own, being consistent throughout each map, doing exactly what they needed to do on whoever they were playing. Soba is such a hard character to master, great character to learn, but trying to get as good as Dreammaker is a pretty tough call for anybody.
Absolutely. He played his heart out, and kudos to him. He is our player of the game tonight. As we close, we're going to close out with our top plays presented by the Idaho Army National Guard. They invite you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus, they will only a few rounds away from defeat can, take its toll on you, can tend to make you make some unwise decisions, make things worse. Broncos get 3 kills right out of the gate. The Cypher Cage comes down. Bandit, careful when you have your knife out there. No restraint whatsoever, walks out of the smoke with his knife out and still manages to get away with his life. That's
Bandit, he's holding his angles, and he knows exactly where to be. The turret's going to be found out, but it's going to be enough. He is going to be vulnerable because of the Nanostorm, but it doesn't matter. Lycan is too accurate, and 1 member will remain. He's actually able to pick up 1, and Varys is going to do what they can to try and go for the 1 versus 2, but unfortunately couldn't find the angle of pursuit and will be taken out from Dreammaker. Nice shot through the cloud, though, and that's exactly what they're looking for. That's going to be start something beautiful. The running back will actually take out 1, and a second one at that. Not needing to even use the reload from the operator. They got the pistol in hand, and quickly, in a blink of an eye, 4 members, maybe 5 here will go down, yes. And that will be Boise State's first flawless in the map. The backside, there is someone in, of course, this hookah spot. And if they push this just like this, it's going to be huge. 3 members in the blink of an eye will go down. And the Broncos now finally found their angle. They'll push onto the point. And it's a question as whether or not unnamed California College can stand. And they do not. 3 members of the Broncos versus 2 members. And that will give Boise a round back in their favor.
So no rocket launcher going to come out there. The attacker Killjoy not going to detain everybody. So it's a 2v3. The Broncos do have the Lear and have the Empress online. They're going to use the Showstopper of their own.
Oh my goodness!
He gets 2 with the Showstopper. Bandit swings and gets the 3rd, and the defuse is going to come in for the Broncos.